Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my platform. Those of you that are returning and those of you that are new, welcome to my platform. My name is Astraea Love, and I am going to be doing a reading for you guys today with the tarot. So I hope you guys have had a good day, okay? We're going to go ahead and start with the prayer. So we are calling upon the Most High God and the Holy Spirit. We're calling upon Jesus Christ, the Ascended Masters, the saints, the angels, our guardian angels, our spirit guides, and our spiritual team of highest light and resonance. And we're just asking that they all put a protective shield around us, keeping us safe from all negative interference and interfluence and influence. Okay, please block out anyone or anything that would try to negatively impact or influence this reading in any way. I pray for the highest light, the highest wisdom, the highest knowledge, and the highest truth to be revealed to me and my collective, and I pray for my subscribers. Make sure you guys subscribe to the platform. Make sure you like the video, you guys. That would really, really help me. If you like the video, hype the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Share this content. Let other people know about it. Okay, and I just want to say thank you, God, for everything that you've done already, for all the blessings, for the restoration of my life. Thank you for everything that you're doing, and thank you for everything that you are going to do in advance. All honor, glory, worship, and praise goes to you, Most High. I love you, I love you, I love you, and thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, archangels. Thank you, spirit guides. Thank you, guardian angels. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity to be here and to connect with the collective. So yay. Okay, so by watching my videos, you're agreeing to the contract of being in control of yourself and being responsible for yourself. That means also with any of the information being channeled. If I talk about anything in the realms of health, make sure you follow up with a doctor. If I talk about anything in the realms of legal, make sure you follow up with a legal practitioner. A lawyer, whatever they are. That type of thing. Just being responsible with the energy. Okay, that is very important. So again, know that my readings are timeless. Anytime that you get to this video, there is going to be messages in here for you. Okay. So you just need to be able to use your best discernment. Now, there's no bullying me, anybody in the chat, or anybody else in the comments. Okay. If you don't like me, if you have a problem with me using my gifts and abilities to help people, then go take it up with God. Okay. God's the one that put me here. So if you got a problem with that, go take it up with God. There is no religiously condemning me or anybody in the chat. That's not what this platform is for. This platform is for everybody to be able to feel safe, to be themselves, and to have their own beliefs without condemning another person to hell or whatever other nonsense. All right. So I'm going to be talking about 2 books. Because if you bully me or anybody in the chat, you will get immediately canceled, rebuked, and blocked. And I will report you to God, Archangel Michael, and the Holy Spirit. Okay? And they will cut your energy the fuck off. So just don't. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to talk about is called, and the links to these books are in the description box below. Also, if any of you guys have any personal questions, you can send me a $20 super chat. I will pause the collective reading and I will answer your question, okay? But the first book is called The Truth of God by Michael Steadman. It's an advanced intuitive living workbook. I've always been psychic, but like I will tell you guys, growing up, I felt like I was trapped in the psychic realm. I was having all of these experiences that I had no control over, and I couldn't get free from that. There was no prayer, no church, nothing that could fix the shit that I was going through with extraterrestrials, angels, just all sorts of things, okay? Well, they called themselves angels, but they weren't really angels. And that's not the point, though. So deceased people, okay? People that had not crossed over. Yeah, that was a big problem for me growing up. So when I came across The Truth of God by Michael Steadman, I was using the techniques and I was able to now cross over spirits. I was able to do all of these things that I would have never been able to do had I not gained this information. I truly wish this information would have came into my life earlier, but I'm grateful that it did come in when it came in. So, thank you, you guys. Thank you. So the first technique I'm going to talk about, well, I just opened it to here. Everyone and everything's higher self is God. That's what it says. This helps you, the God technique helps you raise out of your ego vibration, out of your little self into your higher self so that you can look out through the eyes of God's source, so you can see everything from a higher perspective and look at it through the lens of unconditional love, joy, and peace. It says oneness, we are all one, is saying there is one being, one consciousness, and everything is it. God is the supreme consciousness, the highest self of all creation, with no form and yet encompassing all that there is. In that supreme consciousness, all one, not separate. I'm not implying that the you that you are conscious of is the all embodiment of God, but God nonetheless. Okay, so we may not be the fullness of God, but we still are God. If we look at it at a micro, we're like a microcosm. That's why they say that we're made in the image of God, because we are literally God's energy. It says, when we look at ourselves as anything less, we are doing ourselves a great injustice. I will refer to you and God synonymously. It is a journey of first recognizing our true self as God in the illusion, and then becoming more and more of our fullness through the process of experiencing our true qualities, unconditional love, joy, and peace, always acting as if it were already done. So the first technique, if you're dealing with demons, any type of spirits, any type of bad experiences, the God technique is going to raise you out of your ego so that you can break free of that. Okay. And trust me, no lower vibrational energy wants to stand in the presence of God, because it's just that opposite. Okay. I wouldn't say none. Like, there could be some lower vibrational energies that want to receive salvation, but this is like not having to rely on anything outside of yourself. The second technique is the joy versus anger technique. My life before the joy versus anger technique was chaotic. My abilities have always worked on their own, but they would work as like a safety measure. Like if something bad were to happen, I would get a vision, I would get a download. Now I use the joy versus anger technique, which is better. It's more foolproof than muscle testing, and it's better than using a pendulum. Okay. You will never get an incorrect answer with the joy versus anger technique. So I can be asking questions, and you'll see me doing, when I'm doing the reading, when I start to ask questions, you'll see how this works, how I get the immediate answer back, so that you can be asking immediate yes and no questions with God, keeping that open communication and getting an answer back, and not having to sit around and wait for a sign, wait for a download, wait for a vision, whatever. Okay. And then the more that you ask questions, it's going to help you be divinely guided. Because why I wish I would have came across this information and these tools when I was younger, is because I was just making choices. Okay. And I wasn't tapping in. I wasn't asking, should I go here? Should I go there? Should I eat this? Should I drink this? Should I do this? I would have avoided a lot of tragedies. And this is how I continue to avoid tragedy, is by asking questions. I will not book a hotel room. I will not get in my car and drive anywhere. I literally ask questions for everything, which means I'm in continual communication with my higher self, God, so that I know that I'm being led towards the best experiences. I will not buy concert tickets. I will not go out to eat. And the times that I forget to ask questions, because I am still a person, those are the times where I will have experiences that I don't like. But every other time that I ask a question, I always have a great experience. So just an FYI, you guys, this book is life changing. That's why I said I wish I would have came across it earlier. I mean, I'm grateful for all the things that I went through, because it made me who I am. And that's what I have to keep reminding myself. But I would have avoided a lot of tragedies, like truly tragic relationships, experiences, etc. Okay. And I would have been able to, like, I was literally trapped in the psychic realm just being psychic. But when my connection to God with this book and its knowledge, The Truth of God by Michael Steadman, when that came into my life, I became untrapped. And then I became the creator of my own reality. And all of these other spirits and entities and shit that I was dealing with didn't have any more power over me. So they had to make peace. So you are God having this experience, not an extension or a part of. You are God, not existing in the fullness, but God nonetheless. And then the third technique is the mind technique. And that gives you the ability to question your mind so that you can locate the thoughts and beliefs. And we create our reality with our subconscious mind, like 97% of it. That's what science says anyways. But you can question the thoughts and beliefs that you have and the storylines so that you, so that you can release those thoughts and beliefs that are pulling that situation in, because we do create our realities with our thoughts and our beliefs. But if we don't get rid of the beliefs, it's like I always explain it like this. Okay, it's like somebody going and winning the lottery, but then after they get the money, they don't change their mentality and the way they think about finances, so they end up back in the same exact spot that they were when they started, needing to win the lottery again. Okay, so with the mind technique, you can shape your reality. You can get rid of the thoughts and beliefs that are no longer serving you, and that way your reality will begin to shift and change. The sun is going to come up tomorrow, whether you believe it is or not. And so, yeah, you don't have to be psychic to use this book to start your intuition, to make your connection with God. You don't have to be intuitive. Nothing. Well, everybody has clairsentience. That's like a gut feeling. Everybody has that feeling. That's an instinct. But all of the other gifts that came online when I started doing these techniques, those are ones that other people, most of them don't have. So I feel like this book is really going to help you guys. It's changed my life personally. Okay. Check it out. The link to it's in the description box below. I would get this book. The second book I'm going to talk about is the book that I've written. It is called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. And it works with I've created basically, well, God, the Holy Spirit, and me and Visago have created tarot card spreads for each of the major arcana cards, like the moon, the sun, the star, the world. And so I'm just looking right here at the Hangman tarot card spread. So everything that you see, all you're going to need to start learning to read your own cards so you can move beyond self-doubt and limitation is the original Rider-Waite tarot deck. I would go ahead and get the one with the words on the cards. Okay. It's just a good investment, especially when you're learning to read the whole deck. So the Hangman tarot card spread. The Hangman is number 12. The answer is maybe. Zodiac is Pisces. This is the card of contradictions. The Hangman is the card of the martyr. It speaks of a confusing time ahead. Also, this book will teach you how to read for other people as well, if you don't want to just read for yourself. Says the Hangman says, instead of trying to control situations and people, leave them alone instead. It also says that a sacrifice may be necessary to move forward. The Hangman suggests that you should put aside any self-interest. Peace of mind comes from making the correct decisions. So pull one card for each of the positions. Let's see. I'm going to read position 2, the Tree of Sacrifice. The card for this position will show you what needs to be sacrificed in order for you to receive salvation. It could be anger, greed, hatred, or jealousy that you are called to sacrifice in order to receive salvation. This card can also show you how you can save yourself in any difficult situation. If someone is energy harvesting or sacrificing your energy, you will pull the Hangman tarot card for this position. Position 3 is Neptune. The card position of Neptune marks big emotional energies and represents unforeseen waters and currents. The intentions that others have for you can be revealed to you in the card that you pull for this position. If someone sees you as an easy target, that may be revealed in the card that you pull for this position. If someone wants to take advantage of your kindness, that can be revealed in the card that you pull for this position. Position 4, the Nimbus. The card for this position reveals the core root to reasons where persecution has or is taking place. If you have become a martyr in your own life, then that will come up here as well. If you have a sacred covenant of spiritual authority deciding your fate, that may come through the card for this position. Position 5, the Soul. The card for this spot will show you if you have been sacrificed in another life. If someone is risking their life in the here and now for attempting to come for you, then you may receive insight in the card for this position. If you need to call your power back and your soul back to you from an energy vampire, then you will pull the Hangman tarot card for this position. Then the Hangman tarot card spell is to sacrifice things that are no longer serving you. So you will do a little ritual with the card and with God and the Holy Spirit, and it helps you. I'm just going to go through so we have the Death tarot card spread. The Death tarot card spell is to bring about appropriate endings and much needed change for things that you want to release. The Temperance tarot card spread. The Temperance tarot card spell, to use temperance basically, which is discernment and balancing your energy. Manifestation technique with Saint Archangel Michael. Okay, and so you'll use the Temperance card and you'll do this little ritual and prayer to manifest with Archangel Michael. And then I'm going to go back to the back of the book where I have a compendium of knowledge, you guys, just for each of the major arcana cards, which are the major transitions, the Emperor, the Empress, the Death, the World, the Star, the Moon, the Sun, the Strength, Temperance, the Chariot. I don't know if I said the Death card. I think I did. The Last Judgment. All of those are major arcana cards. The High Priestess, the Hierophant, the Magician, the Hangman, just to say a few. So in the back, I have a combination of all of, I am the author of this book. This is called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. So in the back, I've written basically like, if you pull these major arcana cards out one after another, this is what it could mean. So if the Empress Tarot card comes out in the reading, it means that you are dealing with the divine feminine energy. The Empress represents a loving mother that is compassionate yet potent with their love. The Empress is the highest ranking female card in the tarot. Pulling the Empress Tarot card means that you are dealing with a boss and a ruler. If you pull the Empress and the Emperor in the same reading, it could be talking about an equally yoked relationship between a man or a woman. If you pull the Empress in the reverse, it could be interpreted as transgender energy or a man who is very feminine, has a very feminine demeanor. If you pull the Empress Tarot card with the Temperance Tarot card, it could mean that the person who you are dealing with or speaking to is not retaliating against attacks. If you pull the Empress with the Death Tarot card, it could mean that whoever is in question could be losing their spiritual rank soon. If the Empress Tarot card comes out with the Lover's Tarot card, it could mean that someone has a spiritual divine union twin flame soul contract. When the Empress comes out with the High Priestess Tarot card, it means that you are taking control back of your life. If you pull the Empress and the Wheel of Fortune Tarot card, it could mean that you are at the top spiritually and that you're about to be on the top financially and physically. If you pull the Empress with the Strength Tarot card, it means that the person cannot be broken by anything or anyone. So yeah, check this book out, you guys. The link to this book is in the description box below. Also, the link to the Truth of God is also in the description box below. When you guys are wanting to invest in your spiritual journey, and for those of you that do want to learn to read tarot cards for yourself and or for others, Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells is going to be an awesome book. It helps you work through the major arcana cards, which are the major transitions, so that you, and then the spell is a manifestation technique with God and the Holy Spirit, so that you are drawing in and integrating the archetype energy of the major arcana cards. I just went through these and made sure that they were all in the upright. So I hope everybody has had an awesome day. God bless you guys for being here with me. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. Please hype the video. Please like the video. Tap the notification bell. Make sure you are subscribed. All that stuff really helps. I also have another platform called the Psychic Tarot Angel Oracle, where I do readings similar to these, just with like oracle cards. And you know, when I started out doing readings, I didn't use cards at all, but then I started getting really into Doreen Virtue's cards. And if you know about her, she creates a lot of great decks. But well, she did anyway. She turned into being like a radical Jesus worshiper, and so she's reneged on everything she created, which I think is so horrible. Christians demonize everything. They really do. They're cowards. A lot of them, I'm not saying every Christian, but a lot of them are fucking cowards, okay? And I don't respect people that try to condemn other people to hell when it's not their job to judge others. A lot of the Christians nowadays are acting exactly as the people who persecuted and crucified Jesus did. They act exactly like that. And this is why it just disgusts me. It really does. It's a big turnoff for me. It really is. So anyways, you guys are being restored. Restorations are occurring at this time. That was the message that I got. Blessings are being restored. Whatever this was, that it feels like somebody was tampering with your energy. Your energy is being restored. You guys could be finding that you have a lot more energy now. Please like the video, you guys. It would really help. Welcome everybody coming into the chat. So just to let you guys know, my name is Astraea Love, and I'm doing a reading for you guys today. So I'm just going to give the cards a little shuffle here. I'm going to cut the deck, and then we'll see what pops out. The way I do my readings is there will be two energies. There will be your energy and then the energy of whoever else is in the reading. All right. But yeah, you guys are being restored. It's going to be your health being restored, your mental health, your wealth, all of that. And you could have been like, well, this has been a long time coming. I've been waiting for a blessing to come in. Sometimes your higher self, God, will not bring in a blessing for you, because if you still are hanging around someone or something that could take that blessing, it's not going to come through while you're in a position that is, I would say, vulnerable to others. Okay, so let's see. The Empress, divine being energy right off the bat. The Empress is somebody who's a loving mother. They're a caregiver, somebody that cares for the earth, somebody that's very fertile, both sexually and with finances. Okay, so I'm getting that, you know, again, please take the gender out of tarot, because everybody has masculine and feminine energies. So the Empress is talking about a divine being. That's what I see every time I see the Empress card. It's the highest ranking female card in the deck. It also talks about your physical health and the conditions surrounding your health being rejuvenated. Okay, rejuvenated, restored back to its original, or probably even better than its original. Because the thing is like, once you go through certain things and people put you through certain trials, or the planet does, karma does, whatever it is, you actually learn. So you never really go back to an old version of yourself. But I want you to look at this restoration as a new level of energy, a new level of being able to get things done, a new level of respect being given to you. All right. I feel like, you know, you guys are being abundantly blessed. If you have children, children are a blessing. Some people don't think that's true, but I do. I do believe that that's true. You guys could be getting ready to have children or getting ready to start a family, or you could be, you know, just having success and financial freedom here, material comfort, while somebody else is in the death. That's interesting. Ironic how this other person is literally experiencing the same energy they wanted you to go through. I feel like it's going to be impossible to do anything to you in this new season. And this new season, it's just like, just don't even play with the collective. Welcome everybody coming into the chat. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. If any of you have any personal questions, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I will pause the collective reading and I will answer your question. So yeah, this personal growth, I mean, death is not a horrible card. It doesn't always mean a physical death. It could literally be a rebirth, a transformation, or it could just be like the ending of a job. I get that somebody is getting kicked out of something. They're being shunned from something, and your glow up is causing somebody to feel very upset and insecure about the future. Justice. So you're getting justice. You being restored back, like, and I don't want to keep saying back, but you being restored back to health, I should say, is causing this other person to be stuck with this death energy, since they can't just throw it on you. Okay. And I'm going to just say this straight out. Anybody attempting to block you, block me, or anybody else that is a light worker in the collective that's here doing God's work is going to be met with death. That is what's going to meet them. Anybody trying to block us from being seen, heard, known in this day and age, and while trying to push sinners up, and I'm using that term loosely because all a sin is a mistake, but trying to push people that do low vibrational, really horrific bullshit to other people, that is not going to fly, not in the age of Aquarius. This is the age of justice. Justice and peace is here. So just know that you getting restored means that you're going to be able to pay your bills. You're going to be able to have a home. You're going to be able to have stability, security. And if anybody wants to argue with that, they need to go take it up with God. Since God's the one that gave you your life, your higher self gave you this experience, these people need to go to God and stop going to the devil, because the devil can't do anything. The devil doesn't even want to do anything. And I don't believe in a traditional devil like everybody else does. I don't see that to be true. Yeah, there are low vibrational energies, but would I consider them to have an ulterior, super demonic, evil mentality and reasoning? No. The devil energy is a low vibrational, greedy, materialistic, stupid, lustful energy. Okay. It's an energy that's completely self-serving and does not give a fuck about other people or about a bigger picture. And it just wants to, like, and I'm not dissing anybody that smokes or drinks, but it just wants to get fucked up. Like, it just wants to have sex, get fucked up, orgies, whatever the hell it is. Okay. Because again, the lower ego, the lower self is it's just being toxic. So demons are not so negative in the sense that they have this ulterior motive to betray God and stop the chosen. I don't believe that. But I do believe that all they want to do is engage in is they want to have bodies, first of all, and they want to be able to have sex with bodies, eat with bodies, drink with bodies, that type of thing. So when you're dealing with one of those energies that don't have a physical body or can't become a human or whatever the issue is with them, it's not that they're intentionally trying to lead us away from God. It's just they're vibrating on a lower frequency. Okay. They're wanting to have experiences that are low vibrational because that's all they know. So that's why I don't think it's fair to condemn anybody. But yeah. So just know that whatever you're going through, you're going to make it through it. You're getting justice. Justice is being assured to you at this time, especially when it comes to this death. I feel like if somebody did pass away, you guys are learning how to cope. If this is just the death of a relationship, good riddance to the shit. Seriously. 8 of Cups, walking away, dissatisfied, disappointed, while being up under the moon. You can look at those 2 moons in that card and see that there's moon cycles going on, okay? This death, moon magic bullshit, these people have to walk away from it. And I told them, I've warned these people many times to let it go and leave it alone. But, you know, I can't make people's decisions for them. I can just lead people to the light. And these people, they don't want to be led to the light. They don't want to access a higher power. They don't want to go within. They don't want to resolve anything that's going on in their life. They want to continually just project, and they're going to be very unhappy just continuing to project their problems onto others. You're never going to take up this person's burdens because there's no need to. Ace of Wands, you're divinely protected. Literally, you guys are very fertile energies. You have a lot to offer this world. Any project that you bring forward, the divine is going to back it. It's going to put energy towards it so that you can continue to do it. This person, they thought that they were going to take your energy, and they thought that this would be super easy for them to do. Just steal something right from you. Literally. Make sure you guys like the video and tap the notification bell. Make sure you guys are subscribed. But yeah, you have high energy at this time. Your energy is coming back to you. Some of you could have been calling your energy and your power back to you. This is one reason why you're being liberated. Because this person, they made the mistake of thinking that their energy was your energy when it wasn't. The Hierophant. These people, they could have belonged to a religion. I was talking about Christianity, why it's so disgusting to me. There's so many different aspects of why I don't like it. I just don't like it. And that's not me being demonic. It's just create your own relationship with your higher self, higher power God, like Jesus did, who was a psychic, like Enoch, who was also a psychic, like Noah and Moses, who were also psychics and intuitives. They didn't go to a Jesus. They didn't go to a church. They didn't go to a religion. They didn't read a fucking Bible, okay? In fact, the people that crucified Jesus are the same people that created the church. Just remember that. The people that wrote the majority of the Bible were the same people that denied Jesus to his face. And it's written by human people that said that they had a connection with God. Did they actually? No, they had a connection with Jesus. They didn't have no fucking real connection with God. Jesus had the connection with God. That's why everybody was so upset. So you can you can stop wasting your time praying to Jesus and just go to God directly. Go within. The Fool. This is why I'm saying these religions were never meant to liberate anybody or to help anybody with anything. They just weren't. They were not. Literally. They're human-made constructs that were only made to fit the Catholic canon, and then everything else came off of that. Which means they excluded the Book of Enoch and all these other important texts that should have been included, that basically fill in the gaps of missing time. But whatever. It is what it is. It's already been done. All I can do is help you get out of the delusions of grandeur and step into a position of being in your own power and tapping into your own higher self, knowing that you are God, that you are not an extension of God, that God energy that exists, that you believe is up there in the heavens is within you. And you can tap into that. That's the way that you're going to be successful. This is literally what I'm saying. Four of Swords. These people have to put their swords down because this is the end of a fight. The Fool. These people walked right into some type of funeral type energy, having to release this shit. They got to release their need to try to control you and dominate your finances. Whatever this was about that you have to restore now, it could be how religion fucks people up mentally. It really does. It fucks people up. There should be some type of, rehab that's created for people who are getting out of hardcore religion to go through so that they can turn into a normal person. And I'm using normal very loosely. Turn into a person who is not fucked up in the head. Because name one person who has ascended through religion. Anybody escape death? Anybody transcend death besides Jesus, who was never a part of religion? Is there anybody that you can tell me in any of these religions, not the ones written about, anybody that's gone to religious service that's been ascended into heaven or anything like that? No? Okay. So maybe that's not the answer. Maybe the kingdom of God being within, maybe going within and accessing that kingdom of God. Maybe that's the answer. In fact, I know it's the answer. It's delivered me. There's never been a church service or anything like that that's ever delivered me from lower vibrational energy or from any type of demon spirit or anything like that. And in fact, once you get to a certain level, those entities do not even fuck with you. They only want to manipulate people that they can dominate and control. And when you become a force of a high vibration, they can't dominate and control that. So they don't want to do anything with that at all. They just avoid you. That's the energy that you want to be. And Dr. Strange, the Ancient One, says it's not about fighting your demons. It's about rising above them and living above them. Okay? Obviously, we don't want to be fighting ourselves. The South Node is the same thing as the devil. It's the lower vibration. You're dealing with some type of King of Wands energy. This person feels the need to shackle you to some type of poverty or debt. That's what I'm getting. They want you to take care of this karmic debt that they owe. I highly doubt that you're going to do this, though, because it's not your debt to pay, and there's no person on this planet that's ever going to cause you to have to pay for their karma. Again, you guys, please don't spam the chat with your questions. If you have a personal question, send me a $20 super chat with your question. I will pause the collective reading that I'm doing for everybody, and I will answer your question. But there has to be an equal exchange of energy. I'm not just going to be using my gifts to tap into somebody else's stuff. I don't like having to deal with bullshit. And there has to be an equal exchange of energy, aka money. And $20 is not a lot. To have your question completely answered and fixed, shit. That's cheap as hell. So anyways. But yeah, somebody also wants to get you riled up. They want to see if you're going to react to their negative stimuli. I would just ignore these people and keep it pushing. Like, there's nothing that this King of Wands can do to you that you have not already survived through. There's no name they can call you. There's no label they can give you. This person can't really slander you. This is just, it's like wasted energy and wasted time. Six of Swords. There is no court case that they can pull you into. These people can't make you flee the country. First of all, if you're not an illegal immigrant, people need to stop doing this shit. I am getting something about, and this is not something I like talking about because I hate politics. I'm sorry. It's just not my thing. Everybody has the right to be good at the things they're good at. Politics and shit like that, I don't like it for multiple reasons, because I never feel like any of it is correct, and I just feel like it's stupid and it's boring, and I could give a fuck less. I want our country to do good, but I do not care about politic bullshit because it's all a lie. I don't think that any of it is really the truth. Not the 100% truth anyways. But I'm picking up here that you guys could be dealing with some MAGA witches, okay? People that are this whiter than me. I'm just going to say that, whiter than me, because I actually have South African and Zimbabwe connections. But I'm talking about, I'm not obviously melanated, but I'm talking about people that are whiter than me being MAGA witches, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, except that these people are what they're doing is they're trying to bring endings to other people by trying to flush out the illegal immigrants with witchcraft. And it's just not, their spells are not working correctly. That's all I'm picking up here, is that these people that are trying to get other people kicked out, maybe they're mistaking you for somebody that shouldn't be in this country, or maybe they just don't want you here. I don't know what that's about, but they could be targeting people who are and this is why people really need to get their shit together and like stop with the dumb shit, okay? Yeah. People need to stop with trying to force people out of things because they don't know what they're doing. This is why you guys keeping your information close to your heart, not revealing it to people, not telling people about yourself, not revealing everything about your life. Make people do the work. Make them get background checks. Make them go dig up dirt. Make them do the fucking work to get anything about you, okay? Literally. And only share the things that you know are unmovable, that's already happened, like you being born and stuff like that, but don't share personal information that people can use against you. Because you could have somebody that's in the workplace, you could have an ex, you could have somebody that's saying, oh, you're illegal, you shouldn't be here, let's just do spells to get them out of the country. This is backfiring on this dumb person. Okay, if these people are doing multiple spells to kick people out of the country, they need to mind their own fucking business for once in their lives. That things would start to go better for these people, if they would mind their own business. So that's my personal perception. If any of you guys have any personal questions, please don't spam the chat. Just go ahead and send me a $20 super chat with your question. I will pause the collective reading and I will answer your question. Okay. So yeah, these people can't cope with day-to-day problems because, that energy, your ancestors is sending it back to them. They're like, no, this person's allowed to be here. They're already here. What the fuck are you going to do about it? This person, God created this person already. What are you going to go tell God? God shouldn't have created somebody. Who the fuck has balls to do that? Like, who does that? These people want to argue with the universe, and let them. Like, straight up let them. The magician. You have more power than these people do, and you probably don't even practice traditional magic. I have no problem with people who are using herbs to heal, who are using folk medicine, who are using whatever, like doing spells on themselves to help themselves or helps other people. I have zero problem with that. People who are actually magical beings. I don't have a problem with those people. The people that I have a problem with are the people that do not respect free will, that will just go put somebody up under some love spell. I have a problem with the people that feel the need to get revenge and curse and hex people. I have a problem with people that go roll around in the fucking graveyard dirt and think that they're going to send death to somebody else by them going to the graveyard. You've got to be fucking joking with this shit. I have a problem with people that attack other people and use their spiritual gifts and abilities to hurt and harm people rather than help. That's what I consider a witch and a warlock. Anything else, somebody that prays, that burns candles, that works with herbs for themselves, I don't have a problem with those people. And this is another thing. When people say, oh, I'm a Wiccan, I'm a witch, I'm a pagan, does that mean that person has spiritual gifts and abilities? No, the fuck it doesn't. In fact, most of the time, and I'll just say most of the time, Most of the time, it's people that want spiritual abilities, so they join a coven, they join a Wiccan thing, they join paganism, or they feel drawn to nature, okay? And so they've choose that type of tradition. Does spiritual gifts and abilities are passed down through the genetics, okay? If you've got it, most likely your grandma had it, your grandfather had it, okay? Especially every single gift and ability that I've seen comes through the genetics. So, you know, as far as these people, they've got to take it up with your ancestors why you were created this way. God didn't make everybody exactly the same for a reason. And we need to trust that bigger reason and that bigger picture of things and not be questioning other people's blessings. Because you question the wrong person's blessings and you'll get slapped the fuck out for that. Literally. Could you imagine somebody being like, why does Jesus see the future? Why does Jesus know about demons? Why does Jesus see archons? Like, you're joking, right? The Anunnaki, Jesus that was most likely partially Anunnaki, extraterrestrial. You're wondering why Jesus can do these things? Why don't you go ask God about it? Like, that's what I literally tell people. You got a problem with me? Go talk to God. Don't even come to me. It's pointless. You'll get canceled, rebuked, blocked, and reported. Because my real job is not only to be an intuitive and to help people, but it's the accuser of mankind. I accuse whoever is doing the bullshit and I report it to God. I'm like the professional tattletale of the spiritual realm. I don't call judgment on anybody. I can't ask for judgment, but I don't sit around judging people. That's not my job. I love every type of person from every type of background, every type of situation. I think that people are actually great. It's just some of these people, they take for granted God's blessings, three of Pentacles. And why I say that is because these people that you're dealing with, this Three of Pentacles is a soul tribe that you have. Like, there's people that need you on this planet. You're necessary. You're a necessary component to God's bigger picture. This is why you're not going to be moved out of the way. Just because these people feel insecure. Let them feel insecure. At least they would have something to look up to. You know, we're not supposed to be just praying to Jesus and thinking that Christ is going to come through and save us. That is some weak, broken ass mentality. Stop it. Okay? Do what Jesus did and go to God yourself. Make your own connection with God. Make a connection with your higher self. Have a divine connection. Don't just go to Jesus. I mean, that people can do whatever they want, whatever you feel works for you, but I'm going to tell you what has worked for me, and I've dealt with every type of spiritual problem from extraterrestrial to demons, okay? And negative energies, disembodied spirits, poltergeist shit. I've dealt with everything over my career of being... I've always been psychic, but literally over my career of working and helping people, I've dealt with every type of thing that I've ever heard of or has ever probably existed. So you just have to understand that you're here for a reason. You're here because a group of people needs your business. They need your whatever product, whatever this is that you're creating, your brand. They need to be able to see you, know you, and access you on a regular basis to where they can learn from you, because you're supposed to be leading people by living as Christ did, at tapping into that Christ consciousness within yourself and saving yourself and living as Jesus did as a good person, just not doing bad to others. That's all we're supposed to be doing, is using our gifts and abilities to inspire the planet. You got somebody here in the Nine of Wands in the reverse because of a judgment that did not go their way in court. This person has obstacles in their way, disappointment and setbacks. They are exhausted from trying to accomplish something. It's going to be impossible for them to achieve what they want, okay? You know, they have to play second fiddle to you. These people are not as good. They're just not as good at whatever this is that you do. It simply is not meant to be, and no amount of effort or determination is going to change that. This person is not chosen. They need to take several seats. This Hierophant group, this cult, coven, secret society, religion, they need to sit the fuck down and start actually tapping into their own well of wisdom instead of tapping into whatever stupid shit that they're on. Again, Freemasonry, whatever it is, they need to stop because it's not going to help them. Their imaginary made up ass rituals that are matrix based are not going to take them into godhood. You've got to be joking. It's pathetic. Yeah, these people have to settle with their second choice, which means a false prophet. They have to settle with a false prophet. You know, I feel like these people tried to do some type of like spiritual calculation on you to figure out why you are the actual prophet, and they're finding out that it has to do with your genetics, to be quite honest. Why you have these gifts and abilities. They can't just strip you of them. They can't call judgment on you. These people don't even have a real relationship with God. Who are they going to go to? These people would go to the devil, literally. You guys, if any of you have any personal questions, please don't spam the chat. Send me a $20 super chat with your question. I will pause the collective reading and I'll answer your question, okay? You guys could have been working for a treasury or for a system, a governmental body system. And these people are like, why can't we break that person? Not everybody is meant to be broken, okay? And I would not let anybody break you. Like, for what? So you have to put yourself back together. Make these people who are already broken souled people get their shit together by you continuing to ignore them. Because you paying these people no mind is going to be the best way to avoid them. Stay away from gossip, stay away from slander, stay away from teasing people, stay away from bullying, stay away from toxicity, okay? If you go out, please pray, you guys. If you're not going to get the truth of God and develop the joy versus anger technique and start asking questions about, should I go here? Should I be with that person? Should I do this? If you're not going to do that, please pray at least before you go do things, so that you don't fall into the snares set for you. Because for a lot of you guys, there is, you know, this King of Wands, Knight of Wands energy. These people are disgusting. I really don't like them. I don't like their energy. I don't like their motivations. Whatever is motivating these people is something that is not good for anybody, okay? Which could be greed, jealousy, whatever. Whatever's irritated these people, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. God doesn't care. The archangels, your ancestors do not care why these people are so agitated. Your light has irritated their demons. Four of Cups, because these people were bored anyways. That Four of Cups is about being disillusioned, self-absorbed, and bored. These people feel like it should have been them that was chosen. Why would God choose these people? Like, seriously, these incestual inbred motherfuckers that look weird and smell weird and are weird, why would God choose these people that abuse others? Why would God choose these people for anything? I'm sure these people were probably, they did have a purpose, but when the divine called and said, ring, ring, it's time to do your job, these people were like, no, I'd rather go, you know, take substances. I'd rather go, you know, whatever, have orgies, do witchcraft, whatever other shit, rather than taking care of their responsibilities as a person and as a spiritual being. And that's their right to do that. If these people want to be stuck in the reincarnation cycle, they can do that. But what they're not going to do is try to take you down and take the collective of people that you're here to inspire, help, and to help them to attain blessings. That's not what they're going to do. That's not what they have control over. And they know that. They know that they don't have control over your restoration and your peace. You have gone within and sought your own peace. These people are exhausted from attempting to do something to you. And like this Nine of Wands in the reverse said, why they're permanently wounded and can't get better is because no amount of effort will ever get these people what the fuck they want. It's not going to happen. It's not meant to be. It's not a part of the bigger picture. Ace of Cups. You have God's love. You have the Holy Grail. You have the love of Jesus and of the ancestors. And Jesus is an ancestor. So people need to stop saying the ancestors are demons. Delusional bullshit. Okay? With the delusions. Stop it with the delusions. If our ancestors are demons, then that would say that Adam and Eve were demons and Adam and Lilith were demons. I could just keep going on. Moses, Aaron, all of the ones in the Bible, Noah, all of them were also demons. Okay. Okay, sure. Whatever. I mean, if you want to disrespect the dead like that, then that's on you. But I'm not going to go around saying that the ancestors are demons, because from my perspective, they're not. Are they perfect? No. No, they're not perfect. Is anything perfect? God is perfect. But is anything else perfect? No, nothing else is perfect. The more that we become more like our higher self, God, the more we step into this destiny and this fate that the universe has for us. Somebody wants to spin your wheel of fortune. The way I felt that card come out, it was like somebody is like trying actively to access your blessings and to spin your wheel of fortune for them. And they're being shown that that is not the way. They need to find another way of cheating everybody out of their resources. I also get that there are a lot of companies that are going downhill right now. You know, a lot of these big pharma companies, a lot of these other companies are going downhill because they lead people to hell. A lot of these fast food chains that put, why whoever the Kennedy guy is that's alive today, that is in charge of the FDA or whatever, he quit. Maybe he retired. Anyways, he made this statement: the devil has gotten into our food. And I agree. Why do you think that there's all these extra preservatives and chemicals and toxic things that are not to be ingested put into our foods? Well, I'll tell you why. Because what that does is it blocks people's spiritual connection. You can't go through an awakening if your temple, which you're living in, is completely clogged up with bullshit. And it's mental bullshit and baggage, emotional and physical. And so when you start to clean out the body, it talks about this in the Truth of God. When you start to cleanse yourself, your gifts and abilities expand. This is why Jesus went into the desert and meditated and prayed and did all of that. Okay? Not relying on anybody else externally to bring Jesus salvation. That's why he did all of that and went within, because that's where the answers are. It's not ever going to be on the outside of you. Confirmation. 3 of Swords. Yeah, you guys are dealing with people who are breaking up with one another, who are losing their lovers, or losing relationships, Oh, well, these people, they inflicted a lot of hurt and suffering onto innocent people. And even if the people that they were with were karmics, these people are looking at you like you're the perfect match. No, you're not for these people. I'm not for everybody. Like, everybody is not, my energy is not for every single person. The people who love me and understand me and who would not betray me, that's the people that I am for. But while I'm here on this earth, if I can inspire the other people that are backstabbing betrayers and cheaters and evil people, then more power to the process. I mean, shit, that would be great. If all people were led to God, that would be amazing. But, these people, they want you to join their organization. You don't want to be a part of the Illuminati. Welcome in, Fashionista. You guys don't want to be a part of the Illuminati. Like, who the fuck would? I'm sorry, I'm not a reptilian. I don't give a shit about the Illuminati crap. I don't want to be a part of that. I just want to live my life in peace, be able to reach the people that I need to reach, and have the impact that is necessary. Help people seek their own guidance. Help people find themselves. Help people figure out what they're here to do. And if I have to report dumbass people that are getting in the way, then I will do that. Even though it's like God already sees everything. Still, when you start to take an active role in your own creation and be like, okay, this has gone on long enough. All of this tomfoolery, it's gone on long enough. Now I'm going to, call judgment on the situation, ask God to assist it, my higher power, to do something with these people. These people were trying to cause you a lot of sorrow. They wanted somebody to leave you or not give you an opportunity. Now these people are feeling like the losers that they are, especially now that they don't have access to your guys' energy. 2 of Wands. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. I really appreciate you, and I love you guys for liking the video, and it means so much to me. 2 of Wands. You guys are working on your creative goals. You're embarking on a new journey. You guys are here to gain success, to keep it, to be restored, to be healed, to be loved. That's part of what you're here to do. These new ideas that you have are going to be very prosperous. It's going to lead you into an era of winning where nobody else is going to be able to pull you out of that energy. It doesn't matter what ritual they do. It doesn't matter what demon they summon. It doesn't matter what shit they're investing in. These people, Even if they tried to come towards you in the physical, they would be wiped off the face of the earth. Okay, nature will take care of you. Nature will take care of these people. When it comes to them wanting to gang stalk you and harass you and illegally monitor you, this shit is over. Okay, they've got to find a new target. Literally, these people need to find somebody else to target. And I feel like if you're leaving a jobs, it could be more than one job. If you're leaving a job behind, good fucking riddance to these worthless people that have shit for brains and shit for hearts. Okay, these people, their hearts will be weighed and they will be judged. Good riddance to these losers. Point blank, period. You deserve better. Start that company. Start working for yourself. Start working on yourself. Okay. Knight of Cups. These people just think that they can send anybody in when they get ready. And that you're going to be desperate. So some of you guys have weird roommates. I don't know who that's for, but one of you guys has a weird ass roommate. You need to get rid of this roommate. Sometimes it's the people that you are allowing to have access to you that are your ultimate destruction. Okay. Yeah, this Knight of Cups is a very charming person. They're attractive, but they're not God's. They're not God's given gift to this world. Okay, they're a fleeting energy. This person thinks that you need to be rescued. Why would an empress, a higher ranking female, okay, somebody who is actually ordained to be a mother of the world, why would an empress need help from a knight? Make it make sense. Unless this is a bodyguard, which you don't need a bodyguard, you can take care of yourself. What would you need this person for? You're not a desperate bitch that sits around doing witchcraft on men. You're not like the people that these men fuck with. These other men, they fuck with women that are desperate, good for nothing, weird ass bitches that are energy vampires, thieves, and fucking weirdos. Okay. These people would not know how to respect you or what to do with your energy because they don't respect women like that. They don't care about women like that. They don't care about the preservation of the planet Earth, for one. All they care about is dominating others and controlling them and getting other people to submit to their will. No, get the fuck over it. Okay. These people need to get over it. And it would help them to stop telling you to shut up. And if it would help them to shut the fuck up themselves and listen for once. But I don't think that they even have the common sense to listen to somebody that knows more than them. Like, these people are ignorant. Eight of Wands. They're going to be left at the crossroads wondering what to do next. The Eight of Wands is literally being at a crossroads. These people need to take some type of action to resolve the events that have occurred in their own life. I also get that whoever is trying to bully you, they're going to have to step to your soul tribe, your ancestors, and everything else in creation to successfully do that. And even then, these people are not going to bully you out of your position. God is not going to remove you from your place of power because these people have a problem with it. These people can have a problem with it. Just like they had a problem with Jesus, let these people get upset. Let them hate you. Who gives a shit? Literally, it's not even affecting you. You may have picked up on this energy that they hold, but has it stopped you from your purpose? No. Has it made you turn away from God and renege on your spiritual contract? No. You are not a weak fuck like these losers are. These people are weak as fuck, okay? They're bendable. These people are stretchable. They're manipulatable. The point blank period. These people can be manipulated and controlled. Okay, they live their lives in fear every day. You don't. When you operate from a place of love, joy, and peace, you are in connection with God. You are tapping into the kingdom of heaven within. Ace of Pentacles. You guys have finances that are coming in from a higher power. Who are these human weirdos or demonically possessed human weirdos? Who the fuck are these people to try to take something that God is giving you? They can't. It's not possible. That's not ever going to be possible. I don't care what energy they keep trying to send to you through social media. I don't care what energy they're trying to send to you through your pictures, through your photographs, through your online accounts, through whatever. These people have got to give it up. They've got to let go of this weird idea that you need to be destroyed because you are loved by God and favored. You are loved by God and favored because you continue to do the right thing. These other people, they don't want to think about doing the right thing. To them, that's too difficult. Being a good person, not talking bad on other people, not breaking people down, not breaking people up, not doing horrific rituals on people, not worshiping lower vibrational energy, not succumbing to their own temptations. That's too difficult for these people. You are dealing with people, like I said, that are weak. They're weak. They're already broken. These people feel like they need religion, they need witchcraft, they need Freemasonry because they are fucking powerless without it. Without that little bit of energetic manipulation, which does not trump God and the Holy Spirit, without that little tiny, like, these are people that, it reminds me of people that overcompensate, that have little penises. That's what their little wand that they're waving around is tiny as fuck, and it's powerless. These people feel like they have to do these stupid practices and sacrifices to gain power, and we're not in the age of Pisces anymore. This is not the age of sacrifice. This is the age of new enlightened thought. This is, life is going in a new direction. These people, you know, if these are like, I want to say like bankers or accountants or whatever type of very high business people, okay, these people want to be dominated, but they also want to dominate others spiritually. And they don't realize that not everybody is going to play this game that they want to play. And you're not about it. You're not going to sacrifice your peace, your sanity, your protection, your good life for no witch. The Queen of Wands, anytime you see the Queens of Wands with the black cat, is a witch. And again, remember, my definition of witch is something different than everybody else's. I do not fear Satanists. I don't fear Wiccans. I don't fear pagans. I don't fear people like that. Okay? I just don't. I don't. Do I think that those people are witches? There could be a couple out of an entire group. There could be maybe one or two that has abilities, but no, those types of people usually are not. They're not witches. They're not warlocks. They're wannabes. What I consider to be a witch is somebody that does have a spiritual power and ability that they were gifted with through their bloodline that abuses it to hurt and harm other people or mess with people's free will. It's breaking universal law. This is why all of this magic that people are telling you guys to do, if it's doing it on somebody else, it's wrong. Okay? There's never going to be a circumstance where you need to do a spell on anybody else. How the fuck is doing spells on other people supposed to make your life better? This is what I don't understand about these people. They don't want to give up on this spell work, this root work that they were doing, and it's over. You are not weak. They can't destroy your beauty. They can't make you ugly. They can't make you fat. They can't make you unlovable. You're going to be gorgeous, happy, and successful the rest of your life. These people need to get over it. Seven of Wands. Because if you have to defend, just know that if you ever have to defend yourself from these people, you will wipe them off the face of the earth. Like I said, you cannot be swayed by weak things. These people, the moment that temptation arises, they will act on that temptation. They don't know how to say no to things that are not serving their highest and best good. And they're jealous because you can. You can walk away from people, places, and things that are not for your highest and best good. These people, they can't. They feel bound to it all. Yeah, people are competing for your time, your energy, and your resources. They need to just, like I will always tell people, there needs to be an equal exchange of energy. Nobody that has gifts or abilities is going to be forced to overextending themselves to help other people just because they have a gift. People are delusional. They want you to feel like, oh, because you have a gift, you have to help. I don't have to do shit. The only thing that's my responsibility is to report what's going on in the earth to the angels and to everybody else that is in the divine realm that needs to be aware of it. That's my only job. The fact that I'm helping you guys, that's something I'm doing out of the compassion of my spirit, me wanting to help. But I don't owe anybody anything. And just because God gave me a gift doesn't mean that I have to use that gift to help anybody. Okay? Especially not for free. If it drains me or makes me have to deal with somebody else's demons, I'm not going to fucking do it. Definitely not for free. You know, that's a line that you have to understand. Like, people that are trying to pressure you like that and wanting you to deal with their problems for free, why don't you tell them, would you like me to come into your place of business and ask for whatever you do for free? Would you say yes to that? Why the fuck would you think that I would say yes to that? Some people just need to put it in blatant terms in their own mind so that they can look at it and be like, okay, you're right. That's illogical. That's not right. That's not fair. That's not cool to do to somebody. The fuck? There's a scripture in the Bible where this lady comes up to Jesus and asks him to do an exorcism on her daughter. And he says, no. Why would I do an exorcism on your daughter when the next day she's going to go back to sleeping with animals? Like, what a bestiality. Like, going back to being disgusting and doing things that draw the demons in. Why the fuck would I even waste my time? This is why, Jesus did not go around healing and saving everyone. Okay, that is not the truth. People paint this picture about Jesus that just was not accurate. And then they hold everybody else to some unrealistic expectation. And these people they're like, oh, well, you're spiritual. Oh, well, you're gifted. Oh, well, you're blessed. You should be sharing your blessings with others. The fact that you are here at all, like, is a blessing, okay? It is sharing your blessings with others. You inspiring other people to stand up for themselves, that is inspirational. You're already doing enough. These people want you to feel like you're never doing enough. They want you to jump in the same hamster wheel that they're in and just keep running circles. For what purpose? For who? Who the fuck does that serve? That doesn't serve God for you to get into some type of karmic wheel and keep running through it. Doesn't serve anybody other than these people. And it's unrealistic to think that people are going to sacrifice their time and their energy and their blessings to help another person that's unwilling to help themselves. You can only do so much for people. If they don't want to take the next step, that's on them. I can only point a horse. I can literally point a horse and bring it to water, but can I force it to drink? No, I can't. I can just show you the information that changed my life and liberated my life that I use every day, but can I force you to start becoming in alignment? No, I can't do that. And I would never try to, because that would be fucking with free will. And that's something that I respect with people. You just have to understand that these people have never earned respect. They've never learned about respect. They don't know how to respect, and they're not ever going to invest in doing anything that is respectful towards others. Okay. These people look at their children like they're dollar signs. They look at everything in their reality as something that they can make money off of or prosper through. Okay. They're looking to use people. And that's not what they should be. They should be loving their children and thanking God that they were even blessed with a child. There are so many people that do not have children that would like to have children. So the people that do need to take it as a blessing and stop acting like this is being a mother, being a father is some type of horrific curse. If they felt that way, they should have learned about birth control. At least in America, Planned Parenthood, I think, exists in every state. But at least in America, it's free. You could just either not have sex or, use protection or whatever. And then you would not have the problem of having children. Okay. If these people really feel like them being parents is a curse, they need to literally check themselves. Okay. You are not the reason that this person is a loser, that any of these people are losing. They're losing because of the actions and the thought and the beliefs that they think and the karmic debt that they owe. This and the generational curses that they have. This is why they are losing. Okay? Literally. This is why they're losing. I also get that there's going to be some type of like new strange ass disease. It's going to be like something brand the fuck new. Okay? that's going to be thrown out to the public to make everybody afraid, but it's something that's happening with people that engage in certain type of practices. I'll just say that. That's how it's spreading. People are not going to figure that out until it's too late, but it's not through food, it's not through insects, it's not through whatever the fuck they think it is. It's literally through conjuring up some type of spirit. It's through something else. So whatever this disease is, it's caused because of witchcraft. Okay? And that means when it's time for the shit to go away, it's not going to be going and getting an immunity. It's becoming immune by tapping into your higher self and transmuting the energy and not falling victim and prey to witchcraft attacks. Point blank, period. Yeah, this Queen of Wands is attempting to destroy you. They don't like that you guys are strong. Let's get the likes up, you guys. Make sure you're subscribed and that you've tapped the notification bell so that you know when I go live. I'm also feeling an irritation in my throat chakra, which to me is telling me that somebody is trying to like stop you from speaking your truth. They don't want you sharing this knowledge that you possess, you know. Yes, I am. If you guys have any questions, you can send me a $20 super chat and I will pause the collective reading and I will answer your question. But yeah, these witches and warlocks don't want you knowing that magic exists, because if you know that it exists, then when something doesn't make sense and it doesn't go right, like if things were to happen in threes, bad thing after bad thing after bad thing, that would be a sign that there was something that was done. If you were to have all these bad physical symptoms and go to the doctor and they can't find anything wrong with you, 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10, that's witchcraft. And so these people, they don't want you to know about it, because if you know about it, you're going to look for it. If you look for it, you're going to see it. And when you see it, you'll send it back to them and they won't be able to deal with it. They won't be able to make it through what you guys have already survived. Okay. So that's why they don't want you to know about it. And then they'll tell you, oh, if you don't believe in it, it won't work. It won't work on you. That's complete bullshit. I see people every day who are up under the heaviest of witchcraft, and those are the people that don't fucking believe in it. And they're being affected the most by it, because they'll never look at this person that's bewitching them in a suspicious type of way, because they're completely asleep. The only reason why the God and the Holy Spirit allows witchcraft to go through is so that you can like go through an awakening, because that magic, if it doesn't kill you, it'll cause you to go through an awakening. I used to not believe that witchcraft was a real thing. I didn't believe in it. I had many psychic spiritual experiences, but did I think that people could cast spells? No, I didn't. Okay, awesome. I'm going to answer Kaiser Domingo's question. So what's Erica Pisces' true current thoughts, feelings for you, Scorpio? Nice. And what does she truly want from you, and the connection to work? Okay, so this is the same situation that I've read before. We're going to check and see with the energies. And I want to look and see what's shifted, because there was somebody else that she was talking to. And I do feel like this person is starting to show their true colors. So I feel like she is confused. I feel like Erica is confused, especially when it comes to her love life. She doesn't know what to do and what the right thing is to do when it comes to choosing who to be with. I'm getting the overall energy of confusion with her. And I also feel like that she's starting to see red flags in this other person. And that's also something that she doesn't know how to deal with. I feel like she's committed to thinking that somebody was a certain type of way. And now that she's finding out that they're not, it's like very, very disappointing for her. Which I understand that, but I also feel a fear within her, because you guys work together. I feel a fear within her about being with somebody that you work with and it not going well. I feel like she doesn't want to lose her job, but I also feel like she could make money somewhere else, more money, and I also feel like you could make better money somewhere else. So maybe both of you guys are being lowballed in your career. Okay, there is something also about a manager being into her. I don't know if we talked about that before, but yeah, I would just make sure that, don't tell this manager that likes her that you have feelings for her. I would not tell anybody at your work, actually. I would kind of keep it on the DL until you guys figure out what you want to do, because there is some very creepy energy coming from a manager. Or they could be a supervisor or something like that. There's somebody that's there during the day. They work, I guess they work 2 different shifts. Ace of Cups, new love coming in, feelings. Let me just ask a question about this. Emotional awakening, intuition, and spirituality. Like I'm picking up, she's picking up on, the thing I love about lotus flowers is that they blossom from the most toxic of waters, from the most toxic situations. I do feel like she's going through an awakening, and I do feel like there's new emotions being stirred up between the 2 of you. It's much more of a spiritual connection than anything that she's experienced. But I'm also getting that, okay, there's something going on, Kaiser Domingo, with your root chakra as well as her. The manager has been laying off. Okay, good. But haven't said anything to Erica or anyone. Okay, good. 10 of Swords. There's something going on within your energy that I feel is the core root to her not being able to make a choice. And I feel like it has to do with this 10 of Swords energy. It has to do with feeling defeated in the past. I don't know if you went through a period where you felt like your self-esteem was not the highest, or you felt like you were being rejected, but that's what we're calling forward to heal, so that that can be released. Because I do get that I am still getting this energy from whoever she's talking to as being an ultimate betrayer. I still am getting that energy, but I'm also getting that you don't need to self-sabotage yourself when it comes to what you're thinking and what you're believing. I also get that, what is the hidden thing? Yeah, you're going to be able to, maybe there's going to be, you know, a reuniting of you 2, a celebration, actual celebration that you guys could be invited to, or this could be a work thing. I feel like connecting with her outside of work is going to be the best thing. Because you just don't know how whatever communication thing that you're using at work, you don't know how that is being monitored. And I feel like, yeah, I feel a big warning. This person that she is talking to is dangerous, okay? They're a dangerous person. But I also feel like there could be an opportunity with the 3 of Cups that could really help you connect with her. And I feel like maybe asking her to go out for drinks or whatever you feel drawn to, make it at a movie, whatever it is, or even dinner. Or if you don't want it to be super formal and put a lot of pressure on, you could just ask her to hang out, sit around and talk, go to coffee. I think coffee is probably one of the most like not serious types of things to get to know somebody. I feel like for her to open up to you, she's got to be in a setting where she feels comfortable and where she feels like she's not being watched. Yeah, whoever she's talking to is a betrayer. And I was picking up on that last time, that if she, you know, she's talking to somebody, this person is a betrayer. They're going to do her really dirty. That's why I feel like you being able to connect with her would be a really good thing. And then, you know, relaying to her confirmation, the way that you feel, but not putting on super thick, just being like, you know, that you're open to a relationship because you want a relationship with her. That's what I feel that you want. And it doesn't have to go straight to marriage and kids and stuff like that. But just know that, well, you should be letting her know in whatever way that you can, that you would be willing to go all of the way. Yes, someone's doing her very dirty. That's literally what I'm picking up on with the 10 of Swords. Like, this person, they may be the stimulus to push her towards you, but I feel like she could avoid a major tragedy just by sidestepping this person and not talking to them. And this is somebody that, you know, is like a couch surfer. They want to live off of her, and I feel like this person is very dangerous. They're, yeah, conflict and ego, competition and rivals, aggression and tension. That's sewing someone's mouth shut. This person is extremely abusive. That's what's coming forward. With this 10 of Swords, whoever she's talking to, dating, whatever this is, they're abusive. I also feel like you've known her longer than she knows this other person. So yeah, thinking about what you guys have in common and working upon that, because when it comes to relationships, it's going to be easier to bond when you're in situations that you guys have in common. I get that she's a creative person. She may not express her creativity outwardly, but I'm seeing something like a pottery class. Maybe you could invite her to doing something that is seemingly creative, like pottery class, or, you know, something. Maybe going to a sound bath. Maybe, you know, asking her to go, if she wants to go for a walk in the park. I know that sounds like stupid, but walk on the beach, whatever this is, you know, involving things that include the things that she's interested in, that's going to be easier for her to say yes. I also get that her energy is being drained by whoever this person is. I want you guys to give this relationship a chance to where you guys can have new feelings and new connection, basically. And if it has to happen through you guys going to a wedding or a work collaboration party or whatever, I feel like you just need to talk to this person when other people are not watching, and not putting a lot of pressure on, and figuring out where she's at. I do feel like she is the type of person that her love language, okay, what I'm picking up here, her love language is cooking for people. And she may not be the best cook, but she likes to do things for people. Like, her love language is giving, but it's giving in an emotional way. It's giving time, devotion, that type of thing, attention. That's her love language. And I feel like your love language is both like gifting things, but it's also spending time, being devoted. It's in alignment is what I'm seeing. It's like very similar. So I don't feel like this is going to be a super hard thing to do. It's just getting her out of the work situation. And in her mind, she could be not pursuing you because you guys work together. But if that were to change, you know, the moon, because this person that she's talking to now is dangerous. They are dangerous. Okay. They also have a secret addiction, and they're also having relations with somebody else as well on the side. This is why I was warning. I wish that you could warn her without her feeling like, that's suspicious, you know, because the moon is like illusions, hidden enemies, confusion, secrets, uncertainty. This person that she's talking to is a hidden enemy, and they're going to snake their ass right in there. Literally, they want to snake their ass right into her energy and play her out of her own blessings. And I feel like you would never do this to her. This is why I feel like the delusion of her wanting a bad boy, that's not what's going to be for her highest and best good. It's really not. Seven of Pentacles. I don't get that you're a bad boy. I get that you're like literally the opposite of that. You're somebody that she could invest with. You guys would gain a great harvest and lots of rewards together. I also get that finding out, you know, where her stance is on serious relationships and children, and where she wants to go, where she wants to live. That's also something that's important. But I feel like with her, you know, you need to date this person, or at least take her out, get her flowers. You know, you don't have to spend a whole bunch of money to still make a loving, kind, giving gesture. And don't be the type of person that only puts their best foot forward at the beginning of a relationship. I feel like that's what she's used to, is people that do that. They'll put at the beginning of the relationship their best foot forward, kind of wearing a mask, and then they'll change. With you being consistently, unconditionally loving and graceful to her, that is going to be what wins. That always is going to win over the bad boy persona and that type of energy. And there's nothing that says that you cannot be cool. If you find out that she, you know, would be willing to go out with you and there's like a concert coming or something that's fun, talk to her about it. If you could get a line of communication going with her that is completely separate from work, I feel like that would be the safest way, because I don't know if they monitor every confirmation, if they're monitoring everybody's communications. But yeah, I also get that, you know, it would be so much better for her to just walk away from the person that she is talking to right now, rather than allowing the relationship to go too far and this person to move in and take over something. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, you're going to be able to balance resources with her. This is a good energy. Adaptability, being flexible. I literally get that this job is not for anybody's highest and best good. It's programmed to benefit the people that own the company. And it's majority that type of base. Confirmation. Page of Cups. Okay, let me ask a question about the Page of Cups energy. Is this her energy? Whose energy is the Page of Cups? The Page of Cups is about somebody being very innocent, their inner child. They could have their head in the clouds. Is that her energy? No. Whose energy is that? Okay, this could be a friend that she has. I don't trust this person that's her friend. Whoever this other female is, they give horrible advice. Okay. So if this is her friend, what does that have to do with this other toxic person? Whoever she's dating might also be talking to one of her friends. And I get that she doesn't have a whole lot of friends, but she does have a couple. There's like a couple that she has. 10 of Pentacles, family, legacy, inheritance, foundations, and a higher commitment. So literally, this is like the family card. The 10 of Pentacles is you having a home, an inheritance, a gift, a large sum of money. It's also about you being very blessed, you being able to balance your resources, you being able to work this situation out. I feel like, let me just ask another question, because I want to see what her decision is going to be. She does take into consideration what this other friend says, but this friend is always drunk. See that cup of wine there? That's why I keep being drawn to. This friend that she has is always drinking. So she should not be listening to the advice from somebody who is always under the influence. 10 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. It looks to me like you are happiness here. This is what this is looking like. You are happiness. I feel like she's being tricked. That's truly what I feel like. She's being tricked by this friend and by this other person. What do we need to know? Eight of work, commitment, dedication, work, and effort. So this does have to do with, you know, she wants stable finances. I feel like you're somebody that could actually offer her stability, but where you guys work together, that could be the main block. That could be the main block, because in her mind, she could just be ex-naying people that she works with. But I also feel like you guys would be much better fit. The 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles. This is showing me that your guys' work would be very fruitful. Even if, you know, even if you left the company or she left the company and you guys decided to be together, you know, I think you could probably get away with dating her for a certain amount of time without people finding out. It would be making the next move or the next step and coming on a common ground, something that you guys both love to do or that you both like. I feel like you just really need to get to know her and see if she would be a good fit. I get that she would be a good fit for you and your family. I also get that your family wants you to be with somebody that actually cares for you and that wants to see you thrive. And I feel like she could be that energy. It's just there's a blockage right now. It has to do with something going on in the way you feel about yourself and the situation. And something from high school is what I was picking up with the root chakra, but we're asking for that to be healed, and we're calling that forward to be released. I don't feel like you just being rejected is the bigger plan of of this, but I do feel that if she continues down the path that she's on with these other people, her life could be in shambles. And then at that point, she may look towards you. I feel like you being a place of stability for her is going to be what gets you the win. That's literally what I get. The Queen of Wands. Yeah, she could be very attractive. You know, like people that are very attractive, they have a lot of offers. I feel like she, what is this that's trying to flip in the Nine of Swords in the reverse? Interesting. Okay. So the Nine of Swords in the reverse is talking about somebody that's causing their own pain. It's like, oh, I hope she makes a better decision, okay, when it comes to the people that she hangs around and who she dates. Because the decisions that she's been making are not in alignment with her higher self just recently, but I feel like partially is because she's been deceived by these people. She's sincere, but the other people that are around her are not sincere in the way that she is. This could ultimately cause her to have to go through a lot of pain and a lot of grief. And that's what I want her to be able to avoid. I also get that, you know, her saying no to somebody is really important. The Nine of Swords in the reverse talks about priorities being dangerously out of control. Out of balance, and even though things appear to be going well. So things are already out of balance here. Scandal, loss of innocent. You enter into a world where people play for keeps, not for the weak or cautious. She stays on a self-destructive path, even though she knows it's clearly the wrong thing to do. She causes her own pain. That's the type of thing with wanting a bad boy and then realizing that bad boys are not good. They're bad. That's the kind of path that she's on. I feel like you getting to talk to her, making a communication with her, going out to coffee, going out to do something casual, and then, you know, you don't have to tell her all at once that you want something serious. If you make yeah, will she truly want that, or will she shut you down because of everything she's going through? I feel like it depends on how you make a move towards her. I feel like if you make a move towards her and you are like, I want to be with you, da 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 da, if you lay it on really thick, she may think that it's some type of game, you know? But I feel like you still have a chance, but there is something within you about rejection that needs to be released and healed. And I feel like that's going to be the biggest thing that makes the difference. Once you go within and you release that and the thoughts and beliefs that are attached to that, but just know that she does, whoever she's dating or talking to right now is very toxic and scary and unstable and bad. And then this Page of Cups that she's friends with is also a very negative influence. So this Page of Cups, if you know, if she goes to this Page of Cups to ask for advice, this Page of Cups is going to lead her the wrong way. So I feel like she really needs to make decisions for herself. But also, you know, with you guys working together, that may be a blockage for her. So it'll be something that you need to talk to her about. So is she going to, okay, let me ask it this way. If you healed the inner issue with rejection, will she be able to say yes? No, there's still something else blocking. I think it's the job. I think it's that you guys work together. What else is it that's blocking this situation? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I will be right back. Thank you so much. Okay, so I was just discussing with the other psychic the situation, and we both picked up on the same thing with your root chakra, and it feels like if you could release the feeling of not being safe when it comes to relationships, when it comes to rejection, if you could release that and heal that, I would say basically, I would tell you to get the truth of God and to do the mind technique and then to reframe. I would go through every storyline when it comes to being rejected, whatever this high school younger trauma is that occurred, releasing and healing that. I feel like if you could release and heal that, the situation would change because you are creating your reality with your thoughts and your beliefs, just like everybody else is. So that not feeling safe in relationships, whatever that trauma is, that's the major thing that's blocking. Then we also were picking up that it does have to do with you guys working together. So, for this relationship to be able to work, because again, we also looked at the compatibility of her and the person that she's with now and is as low as it can be. We looked at your guys' compatibility and it's low due to the fact that you have the unhealed trauma that's in your root chakra that needs to be healed and released of fear of being rejected, which would be literally pulling that situation in. The second thing has to do with you guys working together at the same place. Now, if that blockage was removed, and it could be her belief system of not wanting to date somebody that she works with, if that blockage is removed, I feel like you guys would have a chance, like literally. It would be a lot better. And we asked about children. Children are not a problem. I don't feel like that's going to be an issue. I also feel like you have a lot of stability emotionally and financially, and there are things that you guys would have in common. And so, speaking with her, I would be careful of how I would be careful of how you move on this, just in case that manager picks up that you are hitting on her. That's why I wouldn't be talking to her through whatever work communication. I'd be doing it through a personal communication if you can get that from her. But where we were seeing the situation with the person that she's talking to now, it's not good. And then this Page of Cups friend that she has is also a negative influence. So that may be something that she is not aware of at this point. I feel like a lot of the stuff that she's going through and is about to go through, the majority of it is because she's not aware of what she's creating and she's not aware of the people around her. And I also feel like if you guys could give each other a chance, when we ask like, is it going to be possible? Not right now with you having the unhealed trauma, because you're just going to keep pulling in the same experience of feeling rejected. But if you were to heal that trauma and do the mind technique, go through all of the storylines that you have about relationships and about rejection and unrequited love, and release that, your energy would change and her energy would change. I also get that, she may just say no due to the fact that you guys work together. But if you have a workaround for that, like you being able to not work there, work somewhere else, I feel like that, because there is something that's unseen about whatever this manager is, this person that's watching. I mean, I feel like they backed off a little bit, but they're not dead set on leaving her alone. So there's a couple things that are in the way that are saying that right now is not the right time. But I feel like, if you could work through that issue within yourself, I feel like things would shift greatly to where it would at least give this situation an opportunity to change. I also get that, the situation, it would be better for you to work through this issue and then, come together with her so that she doesn't have to go through this horrible relationship. Because I do feel like this person, we both picked up on the real bad energy that this person that she is having a relationship is with, really bad type of person. And you may be just like, what do they call it? Like a fresh drink of water after going through this like hellfire situation with this other person. So I feel like she could avoid a lot of trauma. Also, if you developed a friendship with her first before you guys got romantic, it would give the relationship, it would give her the ability to be open and honest with you without a whole lot of pressure. I feel like putting pressure on the situation is not going to help, but also if you want to move forward in a positive direction, working through that issue within yourself is going to be the most powerful thing. And then giving the relationship an opportunity to flourish by you guys communicating outside of work and not putting, I would not put on the relationship, you know, when like you get in a relationship with somebody and then somebody's like, do you want, the psychic I was just talking to was saying like, he should write her a note. Do you want to date me? And we were joking about that, but literally, after you work through this healing issue, and it's not an issue of you healing, but it is something that's unhealed of you not feeling safe in relationships, because I don't want you to self-sabotage this. Uh, it would be a lot better it would be for her highest and best good to be with somebody like you, to be with you over this other person. But is she going to make that decision right off the bat? I feel like it's going to take you changing your energy and then you having a workaround when it comes to the job. Because she may just say, and this is why building a friendship with her, you know, would be a very smart thing to do so that she could be honest with you about things and you could be honest with her without having the pressures of a relationship kind of like toppling the thing down. And so, yeah, I get that there's a couple components here that makes the situation a little bit hard, but it's not impossible. Both of you guys going within is going to heal the situation and make it possible. Let me get one more card. King of Cups. Yeah. See, I get that you're this very wise, devoted, balanced, harmonious, peaceful energy. I do get that about you. And I also feel like this is a good time in your life for you to experience a relationship that would be with somebody who is not, because one of your love languages is giving time, energy, devotion, affection, is being with somebody that can reciprocate that. And I feel like with that unhealed like issue of you feeling rejected or the fear of rejection, I feel like that could cause more trauma. And where if you were to be able to heal that or release it, I would literally get the truth of God and use the technique in there. That would give this whole timeline an opportunity to change. And so maybe going straight for a romantic relationship is not the best thing. Maybe developing a friendship with her would be better. But you want to make sure that it looks real professional at your job while you have to be there, if that makes sense. So that nobody is, and like I was picking up on the thing about, you know, if you end up talking with her, do it on a personal level when not through whatever systems you have at work, because those are being monitored. I can tell you right away that they are. Yeah. And with you going within and healing, this is going to bring sudden change to the situation. I also get that in the future, if you develop a friendship with her now, in the future, if she continues to date this person that's really bad, she may come to you and ask for like solace or wise advice. You know what I mean? And then that would be a good time where you could tell her about these things. Her receiving love language. Yes. So I feel like she is somebody that likes to be spoiled, but at the same time, she also would rather have, like, she likes to be spoiled and taken care of, but her love language is receiving time, devotion, attention, and like attention to detail, certain things that are important to her. Having fun. I get that that's something that's very important to her. I also get that, you know, you can't really win. She's the type of person you can't really win her over with just gifts. You have to devote your time and your energy and make an effort, basically. But where this other person is walking destruction, you know, literally, this other person is walking destruction. So I hope she doesn't have to go through this destruction with this person. But if she does have to go through that, because that's what she's choosing, And whoever this friend that drinks too much, you're going to figure out who this person is when you guys get closer. But I would develop, a friendship relationship with her. Even though you do want more, I would not put on any type of relationship pressure at the beginning, especially while you guys work together, and you go through the healing process of releasing this trauma from the past. Allow the energy in the relationship and the whole universe to shift. And then something may happen where you actually get, oh yeah, I do have time for another question. Something may actually happen where you get offered another job opportunity. And then that time, when you have, because I get that we both picked up on the fact that you guys work together would be an issue. And so I feel like she could have a rule. A lot of people have a rule not to date people that they work with. And usually if they have that rule, it's because they have dated somebody that they've worked with and then it's gone bad. And so, you want to have a relationship that's balanced, not to where that you're not spending 100% of the time around each other. There's very few people on this planet that can do that effectively without getting like irritated or feeling overwhelmed. And so I feel like focusing on things that you guys have in common, making a communication with her, you could literally start with just asking her how her day is, literally just asking her how she's doing. And sometimes people not like that because they're like, somebody's trying to pry into my life, or they're like, if they're not doing well, they don't want to say. But you might want to state to her when you talk to her in private that, I would be honest. I would be like, I am really attracted to you, but I would be like, I am attracted to you, but I really respect you and I want us to be friends. And if you ever need anything, you can come to me, you can communicate with me, and I will be here to listen for you and to listen to you and listen for whatever guidance, I would let her, I would put the ball in her court, but let her know that you are somebody that can be not only a lover, but also a companion. And I think that those two things are really important, because what she's about to go through, if she continues down the path that she's on, is going to be horrible, which could give you the opportunity to run in and save her. But at the same time, she could just avoid the whole situation. And in the meantime, while things work themselves out, you may end up getting a new job opportunity to make more money as well. Okay, so that's how I would address the problem. But get the truth of God, work through the issue that you have with rejection, whatever this high school thing was or again, it could have been around high school times that you went through an experience where you felt the fear of rejection, because I don't want you to continue to bring that self-sabotage into the future. Okay, and that's what's going to bring about the biggest change, is going within and healing that. Okay, I love you, but I will be praying for you guys because I want her to avoid tragedy at all costs. Okay. Now I'm gonna answer Phoenix Empresses. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. I appreciate you too. Okay, so how do I stay clear, sovereign, and discerning in psychic spaces? Okay, what, you have the best questions. Oh my gosh, I love that. I freaking love that so much. Okay, so there is a part in this book that talks about staying clear. I'm going to kind of reference it, but there's some other things that I would add. When it comes to psychic spaces, like I always tell you guys how I grew up being psychic, talking to fairies, having extraterrestrial experiences, having experiences with spirits that said that they were angels, but no, the fuck they were not. Okay. And the trickery, right, of deception. So I always felt like I was energetically trapped. And that's where I feel like the psychic realm it includes the astral realm. It includes all of like the lower vibrations, and it includes everything except for the God realm. So how to stay clear when you're in the psychic realm and when you're working with psychic energy and psychic experiences is going to be basically using the joy versus anger technique and then questioning your thoughts and beliefs. Okay. I feel like using the mind technique is going to be really important. Says, how to be clear, all intuitive responses come from somewhere. So like if you're feeling and picking up on something, I feel like 9 times out of 10 you're going to be accurate, you know. You're not going to get a when your body responds to you in a way where you're like it's something goes on, that's a major warning sign. It says so many people that I have spoken to that are exploring this alternate inner reality, because that's what it is. Like being psychic has to do with the inner reality that's being projected outwards. It says that the alternate inner reality have a fear that they are getting their information or responses from a negative or evil source. I don't get that that's what's happening with you. I just get that it can be confusing because of the level of trickery that you're dealing with when it comes to other people and them wanting to hide things in their own energy. That's literally what I'm getting. It says they can't trust their answers because whatever method they're using gives them 2 different responses if they ask the same question more than once. The other psychic I work with is a master at figuring out like what questions to ask. Questions that I would never think of. They're a master at that. They're a master at asking questions. So it says, first of all, I have to tell them that this is an indication that they have a belief that's influencing the process. That's why I was talking about the mind technique, getting rid of any belief or doubt or fear of not getting the right answer or fear of being deceived. Because I get that for you, Phoenix Empress, I feel like one of the most offensive things for you is being lied to or being tricked. It says, depending on where they are coming from, I might tell them that they need to address their question to someone or something that they trust. If it's Jesus, Buddha, a spiritual teacher, I feel like you building trust with your higher self and trusting your intuitive guttural response is going to be important. It says just etc. God, okay, just find the one that you feel the most comfortable with. If they can accept addressing God directly, I would recommend that, literally. Unless they can understand that they are God and nothing could negatively influence God. With that love, joy, and peace that's always available to you, there is nothing negative that can touch that. As I have stated, fear is what slows our spiritual progress. Knowing that you are God is the greatest tool for clarity and for stopping fears, and that there is. It really is. And doing the God technique, raising into your God consciousness so you can see things clearly, that's probably one of the best tools that exists because it takes you out of the energy of fear. Anytime you ask a question or you're wanting to know about something and you hold fear, it taints the way that things show up for you. And I feel like that's for everybody. Anyone that is still having problems with their intuitive method of choice and understands that they are God is still probably having trust issues, which is a crown chakra thing, with the being God concept. It's head knowledge and not yet heart knowledge. Head knowledge is when you understand it mentally, but heart knowledge is when you've experienced it emotionally and then you understand it on a whole nother level. At that point, again, I would have them address their questions through the being whom they felt that their heart could trust. Our intuitive responses are colorized by belief systems we hold consciously or unconsciously until it isn't, until we come to the realization that we, as God, have no limitations, not just as head knowledge, but as part of our being knowledge. When I was a child, I had a hard time going into our basement because I could feel the presence of something I couldn't see. That fear stuck with me clear into my adult years. I felt fear going into dark rooms. This is what the author of this book is saying, which I was afraid of the dark my entire life until just recently. When I learned that I was God, I would just remind myself that nothing negatively affects God, and then all tension and fear subsided. So when you remind yourself that you are God, if there is anything, I just heard a whisper, if there is anything that you are feeling could be negatively trying to influence or could be there, stepping into the energy of love, joy, and peace is going to neutralize that. I also get that yeah, it's integrating. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's raising your frequency out of being in the ego, looking up to God, to looking out through the eyes of source with the God technique. I would use the God technique. The joy versus anger technique, why it's so effective is because it works with your natural intuition and your own connection with God. So basically, I would become a master at asking questions. When you pick up an energy, when your intuition starts to go off and you pick up an energy, I would start asking questions, just like how the other psychic that I talked to, they're a master at figuring out what question needs to be asked. I would start going into asking questions and using that joy versus anger technique to get the answer, because that's going to be much more foolproof than doing muscle testing or using a pendulum. That's my experience. And every time you use the joy versus anger technique, it grows your intuition and it grows your connection. And so I would be asking the question, is there anything that I am not seeing? Because what I'm getting is that you pick up a lot of things psychically in the psychic realm that have to do with your emotional intelligence. Like you have very high, I would call it EQ, like emotional intelligence. So when you're picking up an energy that somebody has, but you're seeing them in a certain light, especially when it comes to people, okay? Or when it comes to working with, I mean, I get that again, a lot of people are wishing for clairvoyance and they do not understand how absolutely terrifying it can be. Like I lived a lot of my life being afraid of my own spirit guides because some of them are dark and I just didn't know that they were spirit guides. But asking if there's anything that you're not seeing, because I get that this has to do a lot with you making decisions. And then also when it comes to the things that you're seeing for the future, asking yourself, what is the core belief or thought behind this future? Because I'm getting, Phoenix Empress, that you are stepping into the precognition gift, where you're starting to see how things are going to play out in certain situations and in certain relationships and in certain aspects. And so you could probably look into somebody's life and they could tell you what's going on and you could see how that situation's going to turn out. I would be asking, what is it that I believe that I'm not seeing, or what is it about this situation that makes me feel unsafe? I would start asking questions. And then when you ask those general questions of what am I not seeing, there's going to be something that comes forward that gives you confirmation. Then being like, okay, is this thought or belief serving me? Especially, and then if it is for somebody else, like, and you can see where their life is being headed and if it's leading to disaster, because everything that's happening on the outside of us is a reflection of something going on with the inside of us. And so when you can start to understand the mirror effect, you can be like, okay, this other person, they may be going through a whole nother situation, but there is still something within me that drew this person in. And their need to come, especially when somebody comes to you and they tell you about their situation, that is like the universe acting as a perfect mirror to be like, hey, there's something going on. Anytime that anybody asks me a question, I always go within and I resolve whatever it is that is going on within me that has a similarity. Yeah, precognition. Because I get that you're stepping into the aspect of being psychic to where you're being able to feel things before they happen or feel things that are going to happen. And so that would be a perfect time to be like, if it's something that you don't want to experience, be like, okay, I'm in this psychic space, right? And I'm feeling something. Is this something that I'm creating through my thoughts and beliefs? And can I release those thoughts and beliefs and get a different outcome? Because I've always been able to see the future, but I figured out how to change the future by doing the God technique. And I was in a reality that looked a certain way. And well, it was going to be a certain way, point blank, period. But with the God technique, I was able to shift out of that reality and kind of do a timeline jump into a reality that wasn't going to have an apocalypse and end. And so when it comes to the things that you're picking up on, asking yourself, especially when you see a vision, when you see something on the inside of your mind, I call that the inner eye. That's like seeing with your inner mind. When you pick up, and I keep seeing owls in my inner mind, so there is a lot of wisdom with this. When you pick up with your intuition something, or you see something in nature, I would be using the joy versus anger technique and asking, you know, go off of your initial intuition. Does this sign that I just saw, does this me seeing 3 black crows that are looking at me funny, does this mean something? And then if you get, yes, it does. Okay. Well, it's obviously a psychic experience because that's a very telepathic, animals communicate with telepathy. That's the way that I perceive it. So crows showing up, what does that mean to me? Asking, like I was saying about the other psychic, they can ask the most best questions, asking, what does that mean to me? Then when you get an answer back, if it feels right, do the joy versus anger technique and be like, okay, is this what this means? And then write it down, because this is going to be like a code for you. When you see crows, it's like you understanding what the signs mean and how to interpret them for yourself and then for other people. Because I do get that people will be coming to you and they'll be like saying this, and this, and this, and you'll see something or you'll feel something, and it could be your guttural response of going, ooh, that situation's not good. And then you being able to trust that. I get that all of this has to do with trust and the safety to receive. You have been seeing crows and ravens. Yeah, that's why they were showing me that. Like, you definitely have the owl as a spirit totem, an animal totem, but you've been seeing crows and ravens, and there's a reason for that. To me, when I see crows, it depends on the context that they're in. If they're squawk, 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 if they're doing that, I know that it's somebody is talking about me, or I'm being included in a conversation about something else. There's a lot of gossip and talk going on. That's one way that I read nature. You thought about owls too? Yes, when owls show up, if you were to see an owl, some people, they think it's such a bad sign. But literally, I don't think that it's a bad sign. I think it has to do with wisdom. And I think that owls cause us to look within. The fact that their eyes are so wide, like they're a very alert animal, but they can only see during the dark. That's also significant, seeing things that are in the dark. And just how I was reading about how the author of that book was afraid of going into the basement because they felt something there. There could have been something there. When you feel something else behind the energy that you're picking up on, I would just ask, like, is there something there? The yes and no question. And if you get that there is, instead of becoming afraid of it, doing the God technique, because when you raise your frequency out of the perspective of looking up to God to looking out through the eyes of source, those lower energies, they could be there, but it's not going to be able to affect you. You don't think them as majestic as, yeah, absolutely. They are very majestic and wise beings. They're very, very wise beings. I also feel like ravens, to me, when I see ravens, that has to do with magic. They're very magical beings. Odin has 2 ravens. This is something important for you to know. What are the names of Odin's 2 ravens?
Odin's ravens are named Hugin and Munin. These names mean thought and memory, or mind. They fly around the world daily, gathering information and reporting it to Odin.
That's how I would look at the ravens. Like thought and mind, literally going around the planet, because nature communicates with us. So when you're seeing ravens show up to stare you down, basically is what I'm getting that they're doing. And it's not in a negative way. It's really not. It's they're wanting to get your attention, basically. And when you hear them squawk, 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 they're wanting to still get your attention. So I would be looking at okay, is there something? And I feel like how the ravens show up, it's not only to report things to you, but it's to report that there's magic going on. So I would be like, okay, when I see ravens, I go, I'll start asking questions. Okay, am I tapping into my own magic? No, it's not that. Okay. Does this have to do with magic that's being done? Yes. Okay, is this a sign from the universe that there is something being done? Yes. Okay. And then I would go to what are my thoughts and beliefs about magic and about magic being done that I'm having right now. Because all of the stuff that we're talking about is still psychic realm. Until you take it to the highest degree, which is God, that's when you're able to shift things. But again, I feel like you're very immune to magic. Like magic is not something that's going to affect you in the way that it would affect other people. But now that you're getting the signs and you're seeing things in nature, I would keep a notepad in your phone, and every time that you figure out, okay, crows squawking, crows flying overhead, crows squawking, that means somebody is talking about me or somebody is involving me in a conversation. And it's all to give you a heads up. I also get that you see a lot of butterflies. When you're seeing butterflies, I mean, I know that right now is winter, but in summertime and you're seeing butterflies and you're seeing feathers, that's also a sign that you're being watched over, that it's time to play, time to grow, time to go through a metamorphosis and to blossom into that butterfly. And it's also about growth and dance. I also am getting that these numbers that you're seeing, when you're seeing the numbers, pay attention to how you're feeling when you're seeing the numbers, because that's going to give you a lot of information about how to decode what those numbers are actually meaning. When you see the mirroring numbers that are like 1313, that's something that's going on within you that's pulling in that mirroring energy. And so what the numbers will mean, it depends on what you're doing at the time. And so I do get that you see a lot of birds and you pay attention to nature. I get that the horse this year is going to be on fire for you. It's just the fire horse is a really good energy for you. And I also get that, animals are communicating with you, just like how it said that those ravens fly around the world and come back to Odin. I get that you do have nature communicating with you. And then, whatever it is that you're seeing as far as with your physical eyes, I do feel like that's going to continue to progress. Okay. If you're seeing shadows or things that are surrounding people, they could be blotches of energy. I would literally, I would be clearing yourself of empathic energy. That's one thing. I would also be going, okay, what is it? Do I have a fear here? Okay. Because sometimes seeing a shadow that's an unnatural, a moving shadow, like I would call them shadow people, but the shadow people I've experienced wear hats, but not all of them are. Shadow people are not negative. Everybody is so afraid of them because they're terrifying. They bring an ominous energy about them, but they're not actually negative. My experience with a shadow person, well, I had a shadow person come visit me one time, and I was so scared. I had to call a friend and be like, there's something the fuck in my house. I was so afraid. The shadow person, in a vision, I saw myself pregnant, and the shadow person put their hands around my belly, and then my stomach went flat. And I was just like in the parts of my awakening, I didn't know what the hell that meant. And a couple months later, I ended up having a miscarriage. And then I was like, oh my God, that shadow person was coming in to warn me about this experience. And so when I realized that, I was like, oh, okay, so if I see this shadow person ever again, this time traveling shadow thing, I don't have to be afraid of it. I get a lot of the things that you are seeing that cause you to feel, I would just say uncomfortable, because it may not be total fear, but it's just making you feel uncomfortable when it comes to other people. You're gaining the ability to see things that normal people wouldn't see. I also get that you do see a lot of orbs and fairy energies and numbers. Yeah, 22, 22, 99, taking steps, closing cycles, all of those things, you're going to definitely see signs for that. So it's the questions that you ask when you see the sign and paying attention to how it makes you feel. That's going to help you discern how to interpret that sign. And then I would just take a little note of it, because you're going to, yes, you definitely see fairies. You're going to build a compendium of knowledge of what things mean when you see them, and then the universe will acknowledge that, and it will continue to draw in experiences that make sense to you. So you can look at something and go, okay, I understand what this is. And then I would also be asking For you specifically, I would be asking if there's anything from another lifetime or parallel lifetime going on. Because, like I was saying, when you start to pick up on things that are going to happen or are about to happen, it could be very unsettling because you're like, oh shit, the change is about to happen. Then I would be going within and doing the God technique and taking it straight to the God energy, especially just like how in the book when I was reading on how to stay clear, and it was talking about him going into him, her, whatever, going into the basement and being in the basement and feeling something there, because again, you feel a lot of things, feeling something there and being afraid, but knowing that that connection to God is a safety blanket. It's literally like it's like a safety, it's a safety measure that you have that most people don't. And it's going to help you do the same thing that it helped me do with getting unstuck in the psychic realm. Because it, and especially when things go to and they start to become confusing, if something were to confuse you, I would be asking yes and no questions. And I would also be asking, because your abilities work where you have actual visions, you see things on your inner mind and you see things on the outside as well. I would be asking, like, is there something that I believe I'm not seeing or that I can't see, or is there something that's clouding what I'm seeing? Because I do get that when you look at other people with your ability, you see things that those people don't see about themselves. Okay. If that person is like greedy or selfish or hateful or whatever they have going on with them, that's a personal problem, you're going to be able to pick up on that. So when you start to see cracks in somebody's personality or cracks in their mask, don't ignore that. Ask yourself, what am I thinking and believing that's drawing in, because everything is a mirror, right? Drawing in that experience. Yes, you detect their insecurities. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want you to know that the reason that you're picking up on that is because your, our abilities work to keep us safe. If you need to be aware of somebody else's insecurity could cause them to lash out or to betray you. And that's just a real truth. And so being able to go like, okay, this person has some stuff going on. There's not going to be anybody, I think, that's 100% perfect. We all are working through stuff, but there will be certain levels of people that are just too toxic, that just have too much negativity going on. And I'm not saying you can't help those people, but when you find that you're drawing in people that have a lot going on, that would be the time to be asking yourself, what do I have going on that's drawing in these people? Especially because people are going to come ask you things and they're going to want your advice on things. And I feel like some people get upset with you because you're honest. And but they're, why are they even asking you if they don't want to hear the truth? That's a pretty good question to ask people. But at the same time, I've lost friends when they would be like, is this guy the one? And I'm like, no. You know what I mean? And then they end up finding out that that person is not the one, but it's not fun to have it have to come from like me being the friend. You know what I mean? I always want people to get what they want and not have to go through stuff. So if you can help warn other people when they're walking into tragedies, even if it offends them, I feel like you're still doing them a service. And if somebody has a hard time with you telling them the truth, then that's something to look within yourself. Okay, do I have a hard time with either, feeling safe to tell them the truth, or do I have a hard time with accepting the truth? The more that you work on your own inner self and accessing God, everything is going to become much more clear, because everything is happening for you. It's not happening. It may look like it's happening to you. I can definitely tell you that I don't pick up on anything demonic after you or anything like that. It does feel like it's happening to you because it is, but it's happening for you. When you can look at every opportunity to use your intuition to guide another person, to guide yourself as a blessing, you're going to be able to see the silver lining. You're going to be like, oh, I get it. This is showing me that I have a fear of people betraying me, because I do get that that's one thing that people have consistently done, is like they will be all playing in your face happy, and then they will get triggered all of a sudden, and maybe you tell them something about themselves that they're not ready to hear, and then they're like just pissed off about it. When you have you can look at nature as God's ability to communicate to you. God manifests in many different ways, through intuition, through a gut feeling, manifests through angel numbers, and manifests through animals coming to see us, and manifests through even traffic when you're driving. You know, if you were to, like, for example, this is one thing that I pick up on. If I'm driving and I keep running into red light after red light, and especially when this happens, when I'm sitting at a light and it's red and it skips me and it lets the other cars go and it completely legit skips me, I go, okay, what am I thinking about right now? What is my energy doing? Because it's not like we're always 100% tapped in and aware, like especially when we have to be doing something physical like driving. Oh, just to let you know, Manu, if you have a personal question, you can send me a $20 super chat and I will address your question. But I'm helping Phoenix Empress with her question. So like I take things to be a symbology. Like if my vehicle were to break down, I would be like, okay, is there something going on with my physical vehicle that needs to be looked at? And then I would address that. And the time that I did have something going on with my car, it was a generational curse going on with my physical body that I needed to break. And then when I was running into like being skipped and not being allowed to go, I go, do I believe that there's something trying to stop me from moving forward with my vehicle? Because that's what a red light is. Basically, it's a delay. And I go, oh, okay, yeah, I am thinking something. So every time that you take whatever you're perceiving and you start using the joy versus anger technique and you start asking, and you could always ask for more clarification, but I feel like it's the other questions that you ask on top of what you're already picking up on. And know that there's not anything in the spirit that's trying to hurt you. That's what I want you to know. That there's not. Some people do have that type of situation going on because their thoughts and beliefs are drawing that in. But I can guarantee you that this stuff is happening for you so that you can develop your psychic abilities and your intuition. And this is a perfect time for you. See, you're developing your psychic gifts right now and having a third eye activation happening. And with the truth of God, you're also accessing your spiritual connection. That is like a definitely powerful combination, where I had to go through being psychic and being trapped literally and feeling powerless to then gaining the connection with God and being able to set myself free. This is happening both at the same time for you. So this is going to really, really propel you. And that way that when you see the signs in nature, you go like, if you were to have a really horrific storm come through, I would be going, what's going on the inside of me? Because I feel like you're a powerful enough creator that if you just think about the weather changing, the weather's going to change. So knowing the way that your gifts work is important, but then also having that yes and no answering system so that you can ask the questions, get that immediate answer back. That is really going to help you so that you're not just sitting there being like, well, I just saw this about this person. And sometimes you'll pick up on things that you don't want to see about somebody because you're like, dang, I want this person to be perfect for me, or I want them to be perfect for this situation. But now I'm aware that they're kind of jealous and greedy. And that you picking up on those lower vibrations is your ability working on its own. So yeah, that's going to really help you. What would your guides and angels? Okay, Phoenix Empress. So I hope that helped you. God bless you. I love you so much. Thank you for asking such amazing questions. But yeah, I would remember going into the truth of God, going to the tools to creating a positive reality. And then I would also go to the staying clear part and the joy versus anger technique, the intuitive techniques at the very back of the book, how to be clear. Read anytime that you feel like clouded, or you feel that you're confused, or maybe that you don't want to accept something that you have seen. I would go back to that chapter and read that, and I would work through the methods in in this book and start asking questions. Because again, like I said, the psychic that I work with, they're a master at asking questions. They ask the right questions, and it always proves them to be so credible. Oh, you're very welcome. It was my pleasure. Okay, Marina, now I'm going to ask your question. So, what were your guides and angels like you to know and focus on regarding to developing your abilities? I love this. That is such a great question. Okay, so I do want to use a deck for this. Let's see. This deck. Okay. So I was drawn to the Starseed deck. So we're going to see when it comes to your abilities. I already am picking up that you definitely have had a lot of lifetimes helping with planets go through ascension. And this is something that I see for some people, but not for everybody. Okay. So yeah, I'm picking up when it comes to developing your abilities, trust is a big thing. Trusting what you're seeing, trusting what you're hearing. And I do get that there is I want to say it's an energy, because I'm not necessarily getting that it's a consciousness, but there is an energy that doesn't want you to find out something about your spiritual journey. Okay. I feel like it has to do with the talent that you have. You could be very telepathic. You could literally receive messages through thoughts. Yeah, there is something that's trying to block this. Okay, let me just ask a question. Is this a self-created energy? No, it feels to me like this is some type of veil that you're breaking through. So yeah. So it is a self-created energy, but it's not something you have created necessarily in this lifetime. That could be why I was drawn to the Starseed Oracle, because it feels like this is something that you put up as a safety net. Maybe in another lifetime, you were overly psychically active to the point where it was making you afraid. I do feel like, I don't know if you're afraid of water or the ocean, but what I'm seeing is a lifetime where shadows, it's like darkness spreading in the ocean. It's actually terrifying. So I get whatever this fear is. It makes sense to me. But trusting what you perceive, especially also, I want you to start asking yourself when your energy starts to feel off, I want you to start asking, is this my energy? Because there will be a little bit of whatever you've pulled in empathically. There are some people that are empathic to the point where all they have to do is think about something and they or someone, they start to pull the energy. I get that it's more you being around people. Jump in, Andromedan energy. You could love to work with sound. I get that crystal singing bowls would be a really good thing for you, especially with working through your chakras. Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Because yeah, what you're asking for, because what I'm getting is what you're asking for. See this person and their leg like jumping into the cosmos. That's literally the energy and the water symbology. And then see how there's an eye also that's in the center of the cosmos. I get that you jumping into what you're picking up on is a good thing. The Andromedans are saying that sound is something that really helps you attune your energy, and it helps get rid of like, well, especially when you work with the crystal singing bowl, each of the crystal singing bowls will work with a different chakra. I'm getting like, if you got a root chakra one, it would really help you. It would really help you. That way, anytime that you start to feel ungrounded by whatever you're picking up on, because I do get that you have clairvoyance to the point where you start seeing stuff. And what you're seeing, you're not crazy. Not at all. Not at all. See that eye right there, that iris? You're not crazy at all. It's just sometimes going in deeper onto what you're seeing is going to help. It says Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Andromeda is a spiral galaxy, the closest galaxy to the Milky Way. It's believed that Andromedan star seeds are a group of beings who love their freedom. I feel like this is something that's very relevant to you, because in other lifetimes you didn't have the freedom to use your psychic eye like this. And so that's why this lifetime is so important for you to allow whatever you're seeing, allow yourself to see it. It says, they very adaptable. They have strong willingness and ability to change and go with the flow, to find calm in the chaos, to swim with the tides. This card is here to encourage you to do the same. Perhaps you have a significant goal or opportunity ahead of you. If so, you're being guided to jump in. Don't wait for permission. Don't make yourself smaller when it comes to other people, because you do have a lot of gifts that other people don't have. But don't make yourself smaller. Still be yourself. It says, don't stall until you feel like you're ready. Take a deep breath, a good old run up, and jump right in. Life bends for the courageous, and courageous is what you're being called to be. You're already facing the right direction. I get that this is true. The only thing left to do is leap. You'll figure out the details as you go along. Things may not always be smooth sailing. Life on Earth rarely is. And that's just the way that it is. But the more that you listen to your abilities, and the more that you pay attention when you're picking up on other people's thoughts, and you feel their emotions, pay attention to that, because that's something that could be going on within you. Even if it's on a microcosm, like the smallest level, you still want to be aware of it so that you can release it, so it doesn't affect you. Once you don't have a similar relationship to whatever empathic energy you pick up on, which is other people's thoughts and emotions, then that energy won't stick with you. So it talks about, however, the rougher seas, and this is why I was getting something with maybe a fear of water and the darkness in the water. Maybe it's fear of dark water. It teaches us how to sail with glory, and once you know that, you can navigate any sea, ocean, or storm. The Andromedans want you to fall in love with surfing the waves of life, to seek more adventures, to embrace your own ability and adaptability, and to find a way to be calm in the chaos. You didn't come to Earth to be passive. That's why I was saying, still shine your light. Don't be passive to other people, especially if they feel like they're more advanced than you. You came to Earth to truly live. Now take a good run and leap. How can you be more adventurous? How can you be called to jump right in and leap? I feel like you going within is going to be the answer. That's probably the answer for everybody, but for your abilities, because they are so sensory, they're sensory associated with seeing and hearing and feeling. Earth school. See this person falling down to the earth? That's not in a negative way, the falling energy. It's literally earth school. I feel like you're here to learn, but you're also here to be a teacher. Life lessons, soul growth, study, and higher learning. So you may be interested in learning like Reiki or quantum touch or another healing modality. I also get that there is an energy that wants you to stop. Keep going. Oh my gosh, do not stop. If you keep hearing something tell you to stop, because that's what I'm hearing, I would be like, no, just move on. Sometimes these energies that are low vibrational, all they can do is try to tell you to stop. Okay. And that could be coming from a person that is not aware that they have something with them. Okay. That's lower vibrational. So life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Planet Earth is a great initiation for the soul and life lessons and the curriculum for which we enroll. Always pay attention to the way that somebody makes you feel right off the bat. That's going to be an indicator of how the situation is going to turn out with them. It says that we choose to circle around, deepening our experiences of all of the lessons, and we make our way through the spiral of life. And that's the way that our DNA is created, is as a spiral as well. Life lessons aren't about getting it right. They're also not about getting it wrong. Remembering that the Earth is a planet of polarity helps us with understanding each year. The study deepens more and more. It just helps you to understand that if you've had experiences in one polarity, let's just say negative polarity, things that you don't want, those experiences propel you into the experiences that you do want. And if you didn't know what you don't want, you wouldn't know what you do want, and vice versa. It says, if you pull this card while you're going through a difficult time, you're being prompted to remember that your soul came here to grow and learn. Try not to look at difficult times as getting it wrong. Instead, see them as opportunities for soul growth. If you can find a way to grow and soften your heart through the highs and the lows, your soul is most definitely growing, which is the whole point. This is an expansion of your awareness as well as your spirit. Pulling this card can also mean that you're being called to embark on a new area of study or growth. I was just picking up on like Reiki or quantum touch. I'm getting more quantum touch and researching those because they're quantum touch is a really cool healing modality. Where's my phone? What is quantum touch healing modality?
Quantum touch is a hands-on energy healing method. It uses breathing, body awareness, and gentle touch to boost the body's natural healing abilities, helping with pain, bone alignment, and emotional balance.
It also says body awareness and light of touch to focus and amplify life force energy or chi. That's dope. That's really cool. So you're being called to do a little bit of extra research. If you're wanting to learn to read cards or read tarot, I would get the book that I've written called Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. If you're wanting to learn to have a connection with your higher self God, I would get The Truth of God and do the joy versus anger technique so that you can be asking yes and no questions on what you're seeing so you can get extra validation. Well, it's just developing a yes and no answering system that is never going to be incorrect. Just like how muscle testing and pendulums can give you the wrong answer, the joy versus anger technique, and the links to those books are in the description box below, but the joy versus anger technique is never going to give you the wrong answer. And if you are wanting to learn to read for other people or to read cards, because I get that you do have that ability, the original, I've written Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells with the original Rider-Waite tarot deck. I would start with the original, get the one that's got the words on them. And it's not expensive. That will be a great investment. And you'll understand why when I read out of those books, you'll understand why. But that'll be a great investment because it is higher learning. I also get that having your abilities work on their own, but giving them a structure for them to work is going to expand them and help them grow. There is a YouTube channel called Steve Nobel, Stevenobel, okay, 2 words. And within his platform, he has a meditation for every type of spiritual situation, every type of energetic situation. So you could do like the empath meditation, you could do the space clearing meditation. I do get that you energetically clearing your space is going to make things clearer. Weight of the world, boundaries let go. It's not yours to carry. Remember when I was just talking about, and it's significant that there's water everywhere. So you could be very much in tune with water. This empathic energy that you pick up, know that there's a tiny little portion within yourself that needs to be released. And it could be a thought or belief because you do hear what other people are thinking. And that's an ability that I have when I was working in the metaphysical store and people would be like getting and it would just be certain people, but they would be getting like a curse removal candle or a black red devil. I basically created different candles for every type of spiritual purpose that I could think of. And they would be getting like the curse removal, black red devil candle removal to remove demonic energies and stuff like that. And they would have them and they'd be like standing at the register paying for them. And I would be like, I would just be picking up and I'm like, okay, so you want to burn this as soon as you get home. Don't sit around and wait because there could be distractions that come up. When you pick up on somebody else's thoughts, the most important part is you understanding what is within you that's drawing that in. And it could be the feeling that you need to be protected, but it's not your job to carry the weight of the world. When people figure out, and this is one thing that I get that's happened for you. Wow, you just registered for him today. That's awesome. When you figure out that other people have figured out that you are an empath and then they come wanting to trauma dump on you, that's when you go, okay, I'm going to have to just, what you can say to people when they do this, because I do get that people do this, is like they always want to tell you their burdens. You just be like, I love you so much. I care about you, but I am not in a position I don't know how to help you with this. I'm not in a position. I would literally just say, I'm not in a position to process whatever this is that you're going through. and I would refer them to going to like a psychologist or a therapist. Okay, stop letting people trauma dump on you. You have to shut down that ability, you guys. Don't be shutting down your abilities. That's going to be something that's not good. Okay, really, don't shut down your abilities. That's not good. I would never do that. In fact, I tried to do that for the majority of my life, and it backfired forever until I gained the truth of God and that ability of accessing God. It literally was a continual fucking backfire, like my whole life. And I was always afraid. And this is why I want you guys to not be afraid. The weight of the world is not yours to carry. Understanding that is head knowledge, but knowing that in your heart when people come, because there will be people that come to test you, Marina. There will be people that come to test your patience, and they will be like, carry this burden for me. And you will be like, no, no, it's not yours to carry. Boundaries. When you use prayer, this is like my life before prayer. I didn't have any boundaries. I was an over nurturer and over giver, and I cared about everybody's situation. I would let people live with me that, didn't need to be around me and stuff like that. Now I have boundaries. Boundaries are so important. Let go boundaries. It's not yours to carry. You don't need to carry it all. You're no good to anyone if you're running on empty or bogged down by the weight of the world. This card is a reminder to look after your own well-being before anybody else's. And anybody that's going to tell you to sacrifice your well-being to look after theirs, that is somebody that you don't need around you. Okay? Because that's crazy. Like, no. To stop carrying the world's problems on your shoulders. If you were feeling any type of back pain, this is what I'm getting that it's from. And I'm not a doctor, but still obviously go to the doctor and make sure there's nothing wrong. But I do get that it's energetic weight. It says to put on your own oxygen mask first, just like the stewardess will say, okay, if the plane's going to go down, take the oxygen mask, put it on yourself, then secure it on your child. You have to secure it on yourself before you can help anybody else. In these changing times, it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by the state of the planet. However, you can take on its problems from a place of energetic depletion. And that's where you don't want to be, is feeling depleted. This card is thanking you for caring so much. You want to build a better world and ease the road for others. And that's incredible. But it's going to be through you healing and changing your own frequency. It's not going to be through fixing anybody on the outside. And then I would be asking, what is going on within me that drew in this person that's feeling brokenhearted? And when you can get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm not feeling brokenhearted. That's not anything going on with me. Maybe this person really is coming to me because I am a starseed light worker and I am here to help. And then you can address it from a completely different space of being totally healed. It says this isn't to say that you should switch off to the world's problems. For you, Marina, if you're watching the news all of the time, stop. There are some things that you should not be watching like consistently that will cause your ability to over stress on it. Yeah, the planet needs you to be healthy both physically and emotionally. So instead of digesting the news, that is insane. I didn't even know it was going to say this. Literally, instead of digesting the news or researching, going down rabbit holes on your phone, as soon as you wake up, show up first. I would do a meditation or a grounding practice as soon as you wake up. That way you're putting your day with your best foot forward, and then everything else will be a lot easier the rest of the day. Soul inquiry, deep breathing, or exercise in nature. Sometimes just doing a little bit of yoga and stretching is all that you need to do to get grounded again. It says once you're in a state of grace and your inner well is full, you can face the day, the state of the world, and care for others. Okay. And I'm not telling you not to care for other people, but other people that would not allow you to have the space to heal and that would want you to put them first. Those are self-centered people. And those are people that you just don't need around. You want people that equally care about you. And I feel like the majority of your relationships, you're always caring about others, but they're not caring about you in the same way. It says you can pick it up again the next morning if you choose, but give yourself some time to rejuvenate and rest. Okay, so yeah, remembering that with the empathic ability, that it's not your job to carry these people's traumas. Just know that they're bringing something to your attention so that you can look at it within yourself. Now I'm going to use the healing oracle, the healing energy oracle. This is a really good deck. And we're going to get some cards with this because I get that, you know, you understanding that not cutting your abilities off, that's not the answer. It's not possible to do that. We couldn't give our abilities to anybody else. It's just not possible. We can inspire other people to tap into what they have, but we can't shut it off. So instead of, the way that I figured things out is I started to use my abilities instead of shutting down what I was picking up and seeing because it wasn't in alignment with what I wanted to see. I literally started using my abilities, and then it stopped feeling like I was being tortured, basically. And there is an energy that's trying to block you, but I feel like it's coming from a person. And so you may just need to cut cords. That's why Steve Nobel, he's got a whole bunch of cord cutting meditations. You know, you can ask yourself, Spirit, God, Holy Spirit, what divine realm, higher self, whatever you feel comfortable with saying, show me who this person is, okay, that is attaching to my energy, because they don't want you to see something about them. So this person obviously knows that you're empathic. They also know that you are gifted in other ways. Elevation. I free myself from fear and trust the universe. I direct my thoughts to the beauty inside and around me. I use my spiritual strengths and knowledge to create light, and I rise above all doubt. Yeah, don't doubt your gifts. Don't, when you get a guttural feeling, a gut response, intuition, do not doubt that. I would be asking more questions about, like, what thoughts and beliefs am I holding within that are causing this situation to show up? What do I need to be learning from the situation? And is this my energy? That's probably the first thing you should be asking. First of all, whatever I'm feeling, is this my energy? If you find out that it's not your energy, then being like, why did I draw in this energy? What boundary am I not holding with other people that's allowing them to think that they can just come in and throw this bullshit energy on me? A new opening. Yeah, this information is reaching you at a perfect time in your life because your gifts are expanding. This is like what I see with this picture is an inner connection to God that's expanding. You know, literally a physical connection. It says when one door closes, I am confident another will open, and it will be for my betterment. I accept that life brings challenges and acknowledge the opportunity and learning that they present to me. Serenity comes from within. Okay, I just realized we're almost at 3 hours, so I'm going to get a couple more cards, and then I'll talk about the books that are going to change your guys' lives, and I'll let you go. But I feel like you're already on a great start. Pay attention to the things that nature is showing you. Okay, when you go through times where it's raining a lot, and that, if I would be paying attention to the weather and writing down what that feels to you, how it feels, what it's making you feel. Having faith in your abilities to show you what you need to see is the energy that I want you to be in, especially as your connection to God expands. Like I will always tell you guys, I've always been psychic, but I didn't have a connection to God. That was the one thing that was missing. So when I gained that inner connection with my higher self, God, that's when things actually started to change for me. It says, I am confident I will achieve my goals. Nothing has passed you by. If somebody is telling you that you have missed something or you didn't achieve something or you didn't get an opportunity, that's a lie. Okay? Because if something passed you by, it's not for you. And so this is saying that I live in the present and have faith in the future. I firmly believe in my value within the universe. Vitality. Like I was saying, your life force energy is very potent. Okay, this is what's drawing in people that like to drain you. You just have to set a boundary with people and not allow them to dump on you. It says, I am a being of life. Of life. It says light, but you are of life. I accept the divine energy in my body and every one of my cells. I also get that your junk DNA is activating at this time. Return to heart. I breathe light and stick to the essential for my soul, the present moment. I calm my thoughts, I focus on my heart, and I find space to be where my light and greatness are. I find peace and inner silence. And that's when you're able to calm your mind down and steering away from going down fearful thought patterns. Okay, not everything. Sometimes when we start our spiritual journey, our belief systems are just a little bit off because of religion or whatever experience that we've had that's dominated us in the past or that you've grown up with. Not everything is demonic and not everything is there to hurt you. Just like how I was talking earlier about the shadow being, I was absolutely terrified of that thing when I seen it. And I didn't know what it meant at first, but now I understand that it was not there to hurt me. It was there to warn me. And that's basically all we can expect our abilities in the spiritual world to do. But when we start to ask questions, that's when we take things into our own hands. And when we start to release the thoughts and beliefs that are causing, especially because I feel like you're a very compassionate, kind, overgiving person, to where you're nurturing others more than you're nurturing yourself. And that's why this information is coming out the way it is. Freedom. The first card that was talking about how you love freedom, how being a free spirit is super important to you. Sometimes it's not going outside of, it's never going outside of yourself. I will tell you that. It's always going within. When you see something, trust it. Go within and ask secondary questions. It says, I release my wounds, create doubt, resentment, and guilt. Anything that's creating that energy. You're getting freedom from that. So I work to free myself of darkness. I cast off negative thoughts, especially when you're picking up on other people's negative thoughts. That's just to let you know what they're thinking. Okay. And if you're getting like somebody telling you stop, which is one thing that I was getting, is somebody doesn't want you to pick up on them, your gifts are going to pick up on them anyways. As there's not much that they can do about it. It says, I find peace in my heart and discover the being of light within me. So you remaining a free person and not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders is going to be massively important. Being true. I am true to myself and to others. I remove my mask and stop creating illusions. I have confidence in who I am, and I reveal the good in me. I do not need to hide or prove anything. There may be people that you come across, okay, Marina, that want you to prove yourself, but that's some type of delusion that they're up under. You don't have to feed into that. Anybody that's going to be like, well, you're an empath, you're a light worker, you have to deal with my issue. No, you don't. You really don't. Okay. If you want to, you can help them, but you can't fix it for them. And it's really not, it's really more about why you're pulling in these types of people and experiences. It's more about not having a boundary already set. That's what I keep getting. So it says that I reveal the good in me. I do not hide or need to prove anything. I replace shame with the power of love and truth. In another lifetime, there could have been shame attached to these abilities. The Andromedans are saying that releasing shame and jumping into your inner vision is going to make a huge change. It's also allowing your abilities to open naturally without trying to force them. I am light. I always have hope. No matter the ordeal, I have faith in a better future. I turn darkness into light. I open my heart to others and to God and am actually spiritually strong. I draw light to me and shine with all of my being. Like I said, don't dim yourself for anybody else's comfort. Shine your light. If it irritates somebody's demons, that's a blessing and an opportunity for them to go within and heal. Unconditional love. And that unconditional love that you give to others, give this to yourself. That means that you could look in the mirror or you could look at yourself and not like everything that you see, but that means you love yourself anyways. The same love that you would give to a child, a pet, a parent, a family member, give that same love to yourself, okay? It says, my heart is free from resentment towards others. I open my eyes, the eyes of my heart, and discover the light and beauty in every being. I'm aware that suffering can cause distress and hurt in people. I see the pure child in everyone and practice forgiveness. There may be a few people that forgiving would be a benefit to, but forgiveness does not mean allowing them back in. Inner work. God brings me ideal situations for my inner healing. This is what I'm saying. Why the people will come to you with the problems that they have. It's for a reason. It's for you to heal. As I become aware of my weaknesses, I turn them into strengths. I direct my thoughts towards the light and see the positive side of every stage of my life. Darkness turns into courage. Thus, I get stronger. So remember, the messages are to jump in, okay? And Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Remember that you're here to learn with Earth School, okay? Life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. I feel like you have made already some type of soulmate connection. Soulmates are not, when you have a twin flame connection, it's completely on such a higher level that you'll never think of a soulmate as like a divine pair ever again. It's just kind of the way it is. Don't remember not to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. When other people want to burden you with their problems, like, you are very good at fixing problems, but remember, you're here to elevate. You're creating a new opening where faith and vitality and you returning to your heart space is going to be the most productive. Freedom is very important to you. I also get that you being thank you so much, Phoenix Empress, for that tip. I also get that you being in the energy of your light body is very important. Tapping into unconditional love. And when something doesn't feel good, questioning it, doing the work right then and there rather than putting it off is going to be the best bet. Because if you put it off, you may forget about it, and then that wound could go unhealed for quite some time. But just know, even if it does, the universe will bring in an experience that mirrors that wound so that you can look at it and then go within and heal. And that's basically how things work. But yeah, your gifts are very powerful. The fact that you're understanding how to read people's thoughts, it is for your highest and best good. It's not anything that's dark or demonic. Don't let anybody tell you that you're wrong, or because again, somebody doesn't want you activating your light body. They don't want you being able to ascend out of the vibration where they can dominate you. So I feel like whoever this person is, you have regular contact with them. Maybe you have to work with them or you're around them sometimes. But I would not let this person get under your skin. Continue to do the things that help you. Walking, stretching, breathing, petting a dog, petting a cat, if you love animals, going outside. And I suggest that you guys get The Truth of God, the book that changed my life. Like, I've always had these abilities, but I didn't have the connection to God, which was the missing piece. In this book, there's 3 techniques. There's so many more than just 3, but there's 3 techniques that are a game changer. Okay. The first technique is the God technique, which allows you to not be looking up to God, like from your ego, so that you can shift into the vibration of your higher self, God. So you're looking out through the eyes of God, source. So you can see everything through a lens of unconditional love, joy, and peace. That gives you the ability to look at things as they actually are, rather than seeing them as through the perspective of your personality. The second technique, and it changes your DNA, it changes everything. The second technique is the joy versus anger technique. That technique allows you to develop a yes and no answering system, intuitive feeling method, basically, so that you can ask yes and no questions, so that when you see a sign, you see a number, you see something in the reality, you can ask a secondary question. Okay, does it mean this? Yes and no. And that's going to give you a one-on-one connection, communication with God all of the time that will never give you the wrong answer. The last one is the third technique is the mind technique, which allows you to use the mind like the tool that it's supposed to be and locate the thoughts and beliefs that are no longer serving you so that you can question them and then release them. Okay. That's what's going to be the biggest difference. Does that serve me? And no, it's not going to serve you to hold on to any belief. The sun's still going to rise and set, whether you believe it or not. So in The Truth of God, the link to this book is in the description box below. There are tools to creating a positive reality. So I would go through this book and use all of the intuitive workbook. It's going to, and start asking questions before you go do things, before you hang out with people. I've avoided a lot of tragedies when I ask questions. When I forget to ask questions, sometimes I don't have the best experience. But this book talks about everything in here when it comes to spiritually, how to connect, how to raise your vibration, how to create a positive reality. I'm just going to read this one part. It says, "You are God having this experience, not an extension, not a part of. You are God, not existing in the fullness, but God nonetheless." Just like it says in the Bible, we are made in the image of God. That is exactly true. We are that same energy. So the second book that I'm going to talk about is the one that I've written, Visago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. For those of you that, and thank you so much for that tip. I love you so much. Thank you so much, Marina. That was awesome. But yeah, this book has different tarot card spreads that are based upon the original Rider-Waite deck, which is this deck right here. When you guys are starting, go ahead and get the deck that's got the words on them. It makes it so much easier to read the card. And so the major arcana cards are the major transitions, like the Hangman, the Moon, the Star, the Sun, the World. I just opened it to the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm just going to read a part from the book. And the link to this book is in the description box below. It says, "The Wheel of Fortune, number 10, answer yes, zodiac Sagittarius. The Wheel of Fortuna is a wheel of fate inspired by the goddess Fortuna, who is a goddess of luck. The Wheel of Fortuna, the Wheel of Fortune, represents the ever-changing cycles of both good and bad. This card means that your luck is about to change for the better. This could be a period of growth and extreme change. This card reveals success after failure. All that you can do is go with the flow. This card can reveal to you a better future for yourself." Position 1, the Sphinx, which is on the Wheel of Fortune card. There is a Sphinx. The card that you pull for this position will give you a good feel on what your luck entails. How lucky and fortunate is your destined path. The Sphinx reveals to you a riddle within the self that has not been understood before. On the precipice of fate, the goddess Fortuna prepares one's forward movement in life. With every spin of the wheel, another door opens. As one door opens, one door closes. The card that you pull for this position can show you what doors you are currently opening and which ones you are choosing to open for the future. If you have had bad luck, you will pull the Wheel of Fortune card in the reverse for this position. If you have good luck, you may pull the Wheel of Fortune in the upright for this position. The second position for this tarot card spread, and these tarot card spreads are going to help you integrate the major arcana cards of the tarot, which are the major transitions, and it's just very powerful. The second position is the wheel. This card placement reveals why you are playing the game, the Wheel of Fortune. I'm just thinking about the TV show, how hilarious that is. Here it is. Okay, so see on the card, there's a Sphinx at the very top. That was the first position. The second position is this wheel right here. So everything that's on the major arcana cards, I've created a tarot position for in the tarot card spread for that card. So it says, the Wheel of Fortune, what is to be gained or lost with you when you gamble? You may see things from a different angle with this card, the card that you pull for this position. If your abundance is in the hands of others, or if you have a great inheritance, then you may pull the Wheel of Fortune tarot card for this position. And then the Serpent, the card that you pull for this position will reveal the presence of fear that is working along with cunning. Operating from those two perspectives describes the basic drives behind someone who is being a snake in your life. So basically, you'll be able to sniff out, there's a snake. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's like a snake right there on the side. That's the card. This is the card position for that. So it says that operating from these two perspectives describes the basic drives behind someone who is being a snake in your life. If someone around you has ulterior motives for you, that may be shown to you in the card that you pull for this position. If you are being betrayed by a snake, you will pull the Three of Swords card for this position. And then the tarot card spell that you do for the Wheel of Fortune is to manifest good luck. And so you'll do a little ritual with the actual tarot card, integrating its energy. Then we have the Justice tarot card spread. The Justice tarot card spell is to create justice against those who thought that they got away with it. So for each of the tarot card spreads, there's a spell that accompanies it that is just a spell you do with yourself and God, and it's going to help you to evolve. So the Hangman tarot card spell is to sacrifice things that no longer serve you. The Death Tarot card spell is to bring about appropriate endings and much needed change in whatever area in your life. And then in the back of the book, I have compiled a compendium of knowledge of what the different major arcana cards could represent when you're doing the reading. What if you were to pull them out one after each other, like what they could mean. So I'm just going to read the Emperor Tarot card. Whenever the Emperor is pulled, is an indication that whoever is in question is a divine masculine. If you pull the Emperor with the Magician, it means that someone could be using magic to stay on top or to get on top. Or if, especially if like the Emperor comes out and the Magician is after the Emperor, I would look at that as like somebody has already used magic to get on top. So it means that somebody could be using magic to get on top or to stay on top. If you pull the Emperor with the Lovers, it could mean that a divine masculine is about to enter your life, and that person could be a divine lover, soulmate, or twin flame. If you pull the Emperor before the Empress, it could mean that you have a connection to royalty in your blood, and whoever you're reading for does, or whoever you're reading for does. Because again, this book will teach you how to read for others and how to read for yourself. And by doing the spell, it integrates the archetype energy of the major arcana cards so that you have a better chance of picking up on the clues when they're presented to you. So it says, when the Last Judgment Tarot card is pulled with the Emperor, it could indicate that you are dealing with someone who is either a judge, a lawyer, or someone else in high status working with the courts or judicial system. If you pull the Emperor card and the Hangman Tarot card, it could mean that you are dealing with someone who is a boss in their own right, but they may throw you to the wolves. If you pull the Emperor, then the Death Tarot card, it means that the person in question could be a danger or a negative influence in your life. If you pull the Strength Tarot card with the Emperor card, it means that your power is unmatched and that you are pulling in your equal in either a business partner or a personal relationship. And it just keeps going and going and going, all the different card combinations. But yeah, you guys check this book out. Check these two books out. The links to them are in the description box below. The first one is The Truth of God by Michael Steadman. It's essential to develop the yes and no answering system with God, your higher self, and to understand these concepts and to work through the intuitive workbook. And then I would go ahead and get the Visago Tarot card spreads and spells. All you need to start working with the Visago Tarot card spreads and spells is the original Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And I would literally get the one that has the words on it because you're going to be learning to read all of the cards. And when you're doing a reading for yourself, you may see highlighted just some of the description on the cards. You may not feel like all of it applies to you, but I would also, when you're doing these tarot card spreads, take a picture of the tarot card spread or record it, write everything down that you're picking up. The first tarot card spread is so badass because it's a 14 zodiac integration. It's got 14 zodiac signs that you'll integrate and the chakras and what it means. And then it's a psychic spell, psychic tarot zodiac spell to connect with one's destiny. That's the first spell and tarot card spread. So for those of you that want to know what's happening in the new year, the zodiac cycle, I would do the first tarot card spread. But yeah, this book is going to help you guys, okay? The link to this is in the description box below. You can get the original Rider-Waite deck, Riderwaite. You can get this online for very cheap, and I would just go ahead and get Confirmation, the one that's got the words on it, because you're going to be learning to read like cards basically for yourself or for others. And having the words, you know, it, like I was saying, you may pick up on the card that the energy is there with the words, but there's another energy there. This is going to help you guys with your abilities, help you to read. The cards help you to integrate the archetypes of the major arcana cards, which map the human life. And they're going to help you basically tap into your own destiny and understand things about your spiritual journey that you would have never found out had you not gone on this spiritual quest. So I encourage you guys to get these books at your leisure. Invest in yourself, invest in your spirituality. Get these books, get the original Rider-Waite deck, start working through it. There's no need to rush anything. You guys are going to do so good. I love you so much. Thank you guys for making it to the ending of this reading. Peace be with you. I will be going to my other platform, you guys, which is called the Psychic Tarot Angel Oracle, but I love you so much. Thank you for spending your time with me, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Please like the video, tap the notification bell, make sure you're subscribed, hype the video if you can, you guys. And know that anytime you guys have a personal question on this platform, you can send me a $20 super chat and I'll pause the collective reading and I'll answer your question. Okay. And on my other platform, I do have Cash App and PayPal links for those of you that have personal questions and need them answered. Okay. So I will be headed over there. But I love you guys. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for your donations. I really appreciate it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all of your love and support and kindness. Peace be with you. Please like the video. It really helps. I love you guys either way. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay. God bless you. Bye.